Hey, I'm Nashi.
I'm Rezlar.
And I'm Frosty. Welcome back to the Value Pack.
Hold on, I have to gear check Nash right now. Alright, that is some bull jabber. Dude, he CC'd me how to dance. What's happening? Rezlar!
People look at you like you're crazy, and they refuse to admit that it's pay to win, and just scream that it's pay to convenience! It's pay to convenience!
Big money, big money, big money,
Big
money!
money!
Oh shit, we got it! We fucking got it! And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack Podcast. Things are a bit crazy here. Live updates from the middle of the action. We're trying to get ready for Arena of Solare. There's 4 minutes until it supposedly hits Global Labs. Nyashi's nowhere to be found. We got Heedun in here. Heedun, say hi.
Hi.
Heedun's going to join us to be our third, assuming that we're even able to queue up together. And so, yeah, that's kind of what's going on.
Yeah, and me and Rezlar were not prepared with our gear on Global Labs.
Nope.
Or our horses or our ferries.
Yep.
Heedun, luckily, is. However, he doesn't have Global Labs downloaded. So there's that.
30%.
Yeah, so Heedun's installing Global Labs. I'm trying to get my gear situated. Nyashi's dealing with IRL problems. This is a very professional production.
Look, I have my cursors hovering over what I believe to be the Q button, and
It's not video if it's not scuffed.
yeah.
Okay, listen. Let me get this. Let me do this before, so I can get back to my gear. We got to thank our patrons: Garmoth.com, Hawaiian, Melt on Your Mouth, Minaria, No Name, Slytech, WJ Fong, Yuminadai. Thanks everybody for supporting the show. Man, I am in a panic right now trying to get these crystals in here, brother.
Yeah, I'm running the standard for Macalod setup that you might have heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but those are the crystals in my gear. I don't remember why I put those in, but that's what's in. All right. It's probably something to do with the gear caps here that it just, it circumvents it entirely.
Right. Of course.
And Heedun luckily only streamed for like 9 hours, probably did video editing for 3 hours, and it's only 3 a.m. where he's at. So this should be totally fine for him as well.
Absolutely. 100%.
Feeling fresh, feeling hot.
Feeling fresh. All right, I'm using the translate to see if this is if this button is what I think it is.
Do you think we're going to be able to queue together?
All right. No.
No, probably not.
I could tell you that we can't right now because there's a find ranked game button, which is probably their matchmaking button, and I mean we could try to get into a party.
That's
Here,
what I was going to suggest. Yeah.
I'm going to whisper you.
I mean, you're already assuming that it will work. So
What's your character's name, Rezlar?
Just Rezlar.
All right. Did you get that? It says you cannot accept requests at the moment. Get out of whatever menu you're in.
Hold on, dude. I'm putting crystals in, brother.
I remember when they released Thornwood Castle on Global, it never worked.
Dude, don't bring that up, man. You're gonna make me cry.
Wait, look at my fairy. I don't have my fairy out on live server, so I never really see it. I forgot it shows its name. This
Okay,
fairy's
try
just
again,
floating
Frosty.
around me, and it says cheer 5 above its head.
Your fairy cheer 5?
Yeah. Hey, it worked.
It
All right.
did work. You know what? You got a point there.
All right, so we are in a party. We'll try again with Heedun once he gets logged in.
Yep. I'm with you. I got one more piece of gear to go after this.
We do apologize to the people who normally expect the show to be out on Monday. We did not record this weekend. We're doing it a little bit late to try out these arenas live as they go up. We haven't even had a chance to talk about what you think of the arena rules and the setup that we know of so far.
Yeah, because we were supposed to start an hour ago, but
yeah.
Let me know when I can start ranting.
All right.
I have my.
I'm spam clicking the button. Here. It says cannot be performed while in a party. There you go. So that is settled. Definitely unable to do it in a party. Now it says I'm in queue. A little queue button has popped up in the top right.
Wait. How do I get to that screen?
Escape war, and it's
Probably
the bottom
PvP,
one that says new.
War. Got it.
Yeah, so there's a little sword and a shield icon. It says
I'm in queue.
Says I'm in queue. That just floats up there at the top.
Oh, we can close out of this then? Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yep. Q is
Okay.
gonna pop. I have sound effects on so we can hear it when it pops. Beg is spawned. Rose, do you want to go to that?
Oh, I'm in! I'm being.
What
I'm
the
loading.
fuck? You've been summoned?
I'm loading!
Where's mine? Why didn't mine pop?
I'm loading in!
Oh my god. What's
You're
happening?
probably too high, Elo. Your Q is higher.
I
could
don't
see
have
that.
any of my skills on my hotbar though. This is kind of problematic.
Nice job. I'm prepared, dude. I don't think I have add-ons, but I got everything else necessary.
I don't have add-ons either.
Oh, I do have some random add-ons.
Wait, what the hell?
Don't worry,
Oh.
add-ins are bagged in the global.
All right, Rez. What's your initial reaction to what you see? What are you looking at?
I'm at Oloon's Valley.
Okay.
I got 2 people here. I'm with Arventure, Armin Ninja.
Oh, Armin Ninja?
Yep,
Is that
yep,
Armin?
Armin Ninja.
He's on your team?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Ratro,
free.
or Ratro. I'm not
All
sure
right.
how to say
So
his
what?
name.
Sounds like one of the GMs pulled you in. GM, go ahead and pull me right into this queue. This queue is still in queue here.
I'm still a queue.
Does
Wait,
the
what?
arena look cool? Does it have any obstacles? What do you see?
I'm underneath a bridge. It's just darkness around me, and I can't go past the darkness. In 2 different directions, north and south.
Okay.
I think south is towards the Aloon's rotation that you actually grind in. Hold on, I'm still trying to get my things. We're just waiting here. I'm assuming for the enemy team to show up at some point. Waiting for that to happen.
Well, I'm in queue, so it should just throw me right in there with you if you don't have an enemy team.
Yeah, theoretically it would do that. That is correct. That is
Oh, wait,
good...
so you got in without an enemy team. Like, you have your team, but you don't have an enemy team.
That appears to be the case.
Maybe it's a PVX mode.
Dude, it's the ruined castle.
You gotta fight your way to the enemies, all right? They're not there until you free them.
Okay, I put my heals on my hotbar. I
Frosty,
think that's
he's not
the
that. Wait,
bare
where
minimum
were?
that I need.
Who do you see, Anton? Who do you see in Heidel? Delayed for the. Oh wait, what was the message? Oh, I'm being loaded in.
Oh, maybe you're gonna be on the enemy team then.
Hold on. Here we go. Wait. All right, so we still have a load screen. We have a nice long load screen. And okay, I am now in Oloon Valley. Also stuck in shade. I can't go either of the 2 directions.
Yep. Oh,
Okay.
so you're in a different location.
Oh
than
no,
me,
I'm
though.
here with a shy and no third.
Oh, this is not our Armin. This is EU Armin. He says I'm from EU.
Oh.
Oh, we're going in.
Wait.
Oh no, I'm fighting Belly. Oh no.
You got this. Hold on. I have a shy on my team and I have no third teammate. Is the
Guy's so busted. You only need 1 team, dude.
So
You got this.
it's like a lobby. It's like slowly forms up. It's kind of weird. I wonder if you can just dodge it. Like, you're like, I don't want to play with a shy, and just leave. And you get no penalty. It's actually like potentially
yeah.
problematic, right?
Right.
Okay,
it should just fill up
update-
the teams and start. Yeah.
Update, the teams were shown. There's now a countdown. Countdown is over in 2, 1. Countdown's over. It's a 3-minute timer. We're running out into the open field. I'm gonna immediately lock on target onto Belly and try and kill him. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I'm curious about some of these obstacles, or if there are any. It looks like the enemy team starts over there, so it's a pretty basic arena. There's some trees, but they're not like in the dead center.
Alright, update. This ninja's really powerful, and we clapped him.
Okay.
Also, I did in fact kill Belly.
Wait, is your only enemy Belly, or does he have a team?
No, he has a team.
Okay. You need to use real pots. You can't use RBF pots in here. That perfect. Good to know. All right, good to know ahead of time. That's
Yeah, that was the first thing Armin asked, is if we had pots, and the Nova on my team said no, which probably explains why they
Yeah.
died so quickly.
I'm a little bit screwed in that regard when it comes to the mana. But I have enough HP pots for one round, but I only have
So
like 6 mana.
there's a
pots.
30-second timer after the round ends, I guess, giving your team a little bit of time to like re-strategize what you have to do, basically.
Okay, that could be lowered. That could
probably
I got
be
a
lowered.
third teammate, Polywart. He's a guardian. Looks like a suck guardian. I don't know if it's Chris Polywart, but it is Polly. Someone named Paul. Oh, here we go. All right, it's showing me I'm against Elite, Hedwig, and Baybella. All right, we got a timer now. 10 seconds. We're where Reslar was. All right.
So it is the first to 2, by the way. Best
Yeah,
of 3.
best of 3, yeah. Did you win 2-0? Oh, okay. All right, we're
No,
live.
no, 1-1 right now. We
Ooh,
lost
you
the
can
second
actually
round.
go around the trees in this arena. You could play around this arena a little bit. That's cool.
Oh, 40 seconds. 40 seconds feels entirely too long. Also, why does only your kills and deaths go in the kill feed? That's interesting.
Oh, wait. I'm minting. Can you V in here? Oh, it says emergency escape available in 30 seconds. I don't know what's happening. Oh, shit. And I went down. Okay, we got clapped pretty hard. I also got my skills just I don't know if it's just ping or what, but like God, the response between when I press a button and things happen is a very long time.
And it's probably just global ops.
The servers are in EU, so you guys are very hyping.
Yeah, it was extra
Feels like
extra long.
You can in fact V. Yes,
Yeah,
you can.
I got borderline one. Like I got killed so fast. I don't know if the enemies also participated in hitting me, but yeah, I died incredibly fast. And I am at 420 DR, I believe, or at least really close to it. Yeah, I'm 426. I'm over the DR cap. So I'm a little bit surprised how fast I died, but let's see. Maybe
Did you put Garmot in your offhand?
Yes, it is in my offhand.
And chest.
I did not do the chest.
Yeah, you're missing probably most of your tankiness right there.
All right, I believe I'm the last one alive of my team. So I'm going to concealment cheese it.
Alright, we won the third round. Okay. Update. Names all being read kind of confusing.
No one is CCable in here. It's these people are playing like gods. They have no openings. Oh, nope. It did not aim with my camera. I'm running a little bit low on time. Alright, I'm going to E-buff. Oh, fuck. Dude, I instantly die.
Yeah, everybody's got like hard cap, right?
Yeah, but not
Oh, but it's
AP.
capped.
The AP's capped pretty low. The DR
Yeah,
is
the
high.
AP's capped pretty
Now,
low.
my HP isn't very good, though. But, goddamn, I died, like, really fast. But,
You
yeah,
need to choose really hard on the HP and, yeah, of course, like, special evasion. What else?
Yeah.
I mean,
they-
probably evasion. Are we evasion or DR?
I'm just DR. So this is interesting, too, because it left me in the arena after the 2 matches.
What?
Now, I am going to say, look, I don't want to point fingers, but this is a what is eventually going to be a ranked matchmaking system, and I certainly feel like my team let me down there because they both died instantly in both matches. So I'm just saying they let me down a little bit. It would have been nice if they put a little pressure on someone so I could get something done. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So let's do kind of first impressions after each of our first match. Ghillie suits awful. Please remove that.
Wait, it doesn't let you see people's names?
Yeah, no, it does unknown adventure.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine. Is that?
I mean, if you're gonna have a ranked game mode,
it shows their name in the splash screen though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna have a ranked version of this, then it doesn't have any reason to have that in there. Like, maybe there's an argument to be made in the unranked queue. Like, sure, get that, understand that totally.
I don't think there is an
ranked
unranked queue. It doesn't sound like there is.
I am understanding that. I am saying if there are separate queues, then it's fine in unranked.
I'm gonna queue up.
But if there's...
It's still, you see unknown adventure though, right? So it's not like a visual impairment?
Yeah, you still see unknown adventure.
Alright, I'm currently matchmaking. I am in queue as well.
Oh, so it shows your match history here.
Oh,
my rank is minus circle on top of a T next to a capital I.
I lost.
Is there some kind of vendor or like reward?
Yeah, you can see everyone's name after. Can you see everyone's name in this screen, Rez, when you do the drop-down arrow on the bottom right?
Yeah, but it's not. I don't need to see their names after the fact, Frosty.
Well,
it's
you don't really need to see it
in this supposedly competitive
Wait,
game
what do you
mode.
mean clarity? It says unknown adventure. Are you like having trouble tracking the target?
Yes.
That's weird. Unknown adventure is a lot longer name than most names.
Yeah, but it's a lot shorter as well, and plus all the health bars are red. Even your teammates' health bars are red.
Okay, that's a separate issue. That's probably a problem.
Like, visual clarity is incredibly important in competitive queues. And
I mean, but you can see it.
Let's go!
But you can see this. I don't understand. If it didn't have the name there at all, I get it.
Carstels, brother.
Oh shit! Is that the real Stells? Okay, here's my one first thought that is weird. So I think I'm on the opposite side that I was last time. I wasn't.
Yeah,
on
this was the side that I was on last time.
It's weird that this feels like you're still in queue when you're in here. Like we're waiting for a team.
Yeah, we're probably waiting on the enemy team.
Unless it's we're waiting on load screens and the teams are already decided. Video is not competitive though. This is going to be a ranked arena, so it is by definition competitive. Whether you think BDO is competitive or not, this is a ranked arena. So to say BDO is not competitive though, it just doesn't make sense for a ranked ladder system that is added to the game. All right, Rez, you're our front line. I actually wonder how tanky I'd feel on my main with like literally 3,000 more hit points. Oh, bunch of suck-zerkers on this team. Alright, I killed one. Oh yeah, like our team's health should not be red. That's confusing.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's saying unknown adventure is still pretty clear and easy to see.
But I disagree.
I don't know how is that is it the combination of letters that's tough to see? Unknown? Like the way it's spelled?
Well, it might not be as bad if your teammates' health bars weren't also red. It's just you're automatically locked into red, and I'm looking for red, right? And then I see my teammates' health bars, which are red, and I'm like, oh shit, that's not an enemy, that's my teammate.
All right,
maybe it wouldn't bother me as much if it wasn't for that.
Wait, I think they have a disconnect. Look at their team.
Yeah, I think the Zerker left or something because he turned gray.
Yeah, I don't know why your team's HP bars would also be red. I literally tried to grab Carstels, right?
yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like really hard for visual clarity.
World first rage quit right here. Alright. What do you think of the arena?
I like it.
I kind of like it too. I actually like that it's pretty big. And there's trees and you can hide and shit a little bit if you want to.
My only concern, or not, it's not even a concern. The only thing I would kind of like to see is that it be Maybe not as flat.
Yeah, but then you gotta deal with the fucking YZ axis shit not working. So right now we're going in on this 1v2 or 3v2, and oh, save me! All right, oh, the peel! Nope, I died. My team let me down.
Carstels, if you can hear me, I got someone over here.
You can't hear you. You could probably. I wonder if this counts as being in a party. I wonder if you could team ping. Oh wait, did Carstels die? Oh no, you guys got him.
That was really bad lag. Holy
God.
shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I was a full second in Devo right there when I got CC'd. Holy hell. Okay, yeah, that's just G-Labs, hopefully.
Can you go into settings, show hide, maybe turn off display party member names? Yeah, you probably can, but that's not well, yeah, we're also not in a party, but that's also a lame solution because I still want to be able to see my party. Like, I still want to be able to see their names. Yes, you can hide it, but I shouldn't have to. Their HP bars should just be different. If I had a fairy, I would get you all, I swear. Dude, DK did so much damage to me in that fight, and I need, like, I'm missing so much HP. Heedun, what's the progress on your download?
54.
Yeah, see, it's not dictated by your internet. Sometimes Global Labs just says nope.
Is slowing down.
Yeah.
And like going up. It's a bit weird.
Global Labs decided no.
Alright, so we know it's
I think you guys should try to like min-max the builds a little bit more. Because it's
the problem is like how much
right?
time. I am so far from being able to min-max the build right now.
You're not. I mean, get the special evision crystals. That's free. It should be in the.
You can at least take out the Macaloids.
Like 20% special evasion in a capped arena where the highest is 30%. Like it's 500 something.
Right.
And I'm actually not trolling, but get the offing out. Like I know you will like probably never expected to hear something like this from an EU player.
But get the what?
But offing.
Often.
The blue main hand.
Oh. Wait, I'm at that.
It's best in slot in.
Oh, get the offing out.
Offing.
But what do I need to? I mean, if I'm at the AP cap, I'm already above the AP cap though. And
yeah, exactly. So.
Oh, you mean for crit? Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
exactly.
I like the idea. I'm not gonna enhance it right now. This is a lot of time, you know. We're live. We're live on the spot. All right, I'm gonna do my.
What do you mean announce it?
What does it get? All right, you got a cap for it, right? Or I'm just gonna leave it and be below the cap.
Bro, die like a bazillion Kafras and like click 20 times. So it takes like less than a minute.
We're working on.
Sure, if you want to do it, if you want.
We're working on special.
If that's how you do things on an A, just half-assy.
Okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I see how it is.
I don't.
So big and shiny is.
Okay, this is not that official of a test. This is just like a first impressions. Oh my. All right, hold on.
Okay, no, it's fair. I do feel like a first impression should be done like with, you know, a decent build, like something that is close.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. You think most people are going to run a C20 often, Heedun? Be honest, right now. You think most people are going to run C20 often? Tell the truth.
Honestly, the honest truth is that if this is the only fun PvP content in the game, this is what people will be doing.
So maybe in like a year from now, when everyone enhances up their often and swaps,
you can just sell your
Let's be honest, Frosty. The only people who matter are going to be having C20 offense, okay? And that's Shaky Bay and Nyashi.
All right, I need to find the crystal box though. Let me.
Okay, the offing is like a minor cheese, right? It's just +2 crit. I mean, it is pretty decent. It's like what 8%.
Does the normal crystal box give me the special activation?
Yeah, it does.
The new ones, the new gen
ones? These EU players and their offense, hey Frosty, crazy.
Dude, I highly doubt people are actually gonna be running often for a long time.
No, I understand the offing. But
and I'm doing the crystals. I just don't want to, you know.
The crystals.
The offen's a bridge too far.
What else? Did you put HP accessories in the cups?
No, I can do that. I can do that because I have those already. You know, I had to get a fairy. All right, wait. So hold on. Let me math this out for the crystals. So the crystals are
don't bring up the fairy again, please.
4 below the sweet honey wine.
Hold on, I gotta get this.
Oh,
I gotta get this translate thing you were talking about, Heedun, so I can
Just
actually
Google
read
Translate.
what's on the scene.
Yeah, literally just Google Translate. It's amazing. Then I would probably like try to. Did you choose the accessories a little bit? Like I see you have a Tetanarch, so I guess you didn't choose it that much.
Yeah, I didn't go to Trent and get those.
No. But I mean, why not Pen?
Well, because I'm at the AP and DP cap. Does Pen actually get me anything?
Are
else?
you at the DR cap? Are you
Yes.
430 DR?
Yes, I'm 426. The DR cap's 420. I'm at the AP and the DP cap.
Wait, let me check.
Yeah, I just looked on Global Labs. It's 420. I'm pretty sure. But I'm 420.
Just,
I'm
open the
429.
thing.
I'm 426.
Where's the DR?
I'm pretty sure it's 420.
Oh, you can check on stream, like on the gear thing.
No. Mine is 426. I'm saying I believe the cap is 4. Let me look at the lab notes. Pretty sure the cap is
it's
420.
420. It's 420.
Yeah. So I got the AP and the DP up there. I'm
Okay,
just
okay.
lacking HP and special attack evasion crystals. Hold on, let me. Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to delete a lot of crystals here. Does it? Does it give the Jin versions?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm gonna just put
It's
in
fine.
blue.
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
I mean, most of the tankiness is from the special evasion.
Oh, there's no empty slot. You got a Burger King ad? This be nice. All right, let's see. Dude, wait, is there a... Yeah, I'm kind of missing... I never actually fully understand the HP. I feel like the journals are weird here too.
It's missing HP, the Global Lab journal.
Okay. Nope. Critical hit. Nope. Dude, which one gives special attack evasion? Where are these crystals?
Oh, interesting.
They are split by by piece. You need to find the chest one.
Yeah. Well, I only have like 2 boxes left, so one of these has to go.
This would take 1 second
Oh,
if you
here's the chest.
whipped out the cell phone.
I found him. All right.
Yeah, nice.
All right, special attack evasion. Here we go. Nope, not that one. Go.
So I don't know if this is a mistranslation. Under history, I use the translate, and it says that underneath history it's wins and losses.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that's not true. I think it might be kills and deaths, maybe? Doesn't make sense for it to be wins and losses, because I have 6 of the emblems underneath history in the last match we did. Doesn't make any sense.
What I'm actually very curious about is the human damage. Because if I remember correctly, isn't Siege human damage capped as well? Like
Yes.
on top of the...
And Node War and all that. Yep. I'm pretty sure.
So, do you think human damage is also a dog here?
I don't know. The weird thing is that they didn't mention any of the percentage-based stuff, like DR percent. They didn't mention HP. They didn't mention... I don't know if that stuff just wasn't in the notes or if it's just not capped at all. It's very strange.
Yeah.
All right, my pen cadre's getting a HP cup. There we go. And my pen Eye of the Ruins.
Interesting. Let me know when you're ready to queue back up.
Almost. Hold on. I'm putting in my belt cup. Pen Voltar. Anyone having similar experience? Let's see. What is this? What? Like what do you? Oh, the damage. Yeah. Well, I don't know how to. Yeah, that's why. What is your gear kind of optimized, Belly? So I'm trying to get a little bit more HP to see if I'm still gonna die that fast, but yours is pretty close to perfect.
Can you link it or like share a screenshot?
Yes, screenshot your gear setup, Belly. Let's have a look. Okay. And is there a way to get artifacts, or is there not?
If there's not a new chest, then there's no way.
All right, I'm queuing up, Rez. You ready?
Yes, sir.
We have 300 more HP and 20% more special attack evasion. We should be tanky as hell.
I wonder why you have to click it twice. That's weird.
Oh yeah, you're right. You do have to click it twice. Damage on global is always higher than live. Well, everyone's HP is low. Like, so for me, even if my stats are the same, like my DR, my evasion, I literally have like 1,400 less HP than I have on live, or 1,500 less. And I have basically the same gear now, so it's kind of odd. Actually, yeah. So I don't know why I have so much less. I even am running a Gaiath helmet instead of a Griffin here. I'm all stat caps with 5,200 HP, full special attack evasion. Yeah, I was definitely dying super fast too. I noticed I was dying really quick, like faster than I thought I would, considering what the AP cap is, which is basically around like 30, like, or not even. It's like what, 289? Yep, same. I think we got in the same one.
Nice, nice.
Remember when everyone said that before reworks hit live, then they hit live and everyone got one shot all the same? Well, kind of the same. Labs was still a little bit different. Labs was still way worse, but yeah.
Hey, we're on the same team again.
All right, this time we're with Kian. Yeah, I have Hooms and everything too. And I'm at the that's the other thing too, Heedun. I have 30% damage reduction as well. So my DP is 430, 440.
You might want to try evasion. I guess it will take you time to make the evasion build, but I think it's worth checking it out.
I'm actually over.
Lord, we're fighting choice.
As odd as it sounds, I'm actually already over the evasion cap, but I could see if going further over it helps. Yeah, because I think, isn't the evasion cap like 880? Do you have it pulled up?
It should be like 9 something, I think.
No, I think it's 880. I'll check in a second.
Yeah.
If anyone in chat knows what the evasion cap is.
It's kind of weird that you can just cap it so easily, and you still are so squishy. Like, it doesn't make too much sense.
Oh, I got re-CC'd. All right, that time didn't feel too squishy considering how many people were hitting me. Yeah, so the evasion cap is
special evasion.
The evasion cap was 868, and I'm at 920 or 910, so I'm already well over the evasion cap.
So technically, you're hard cap as you can get.
Yeah.
Maybe this will finally force them to fix the stupid V goes on cooldown when you swap channels thing. Because when you join this, it's instantly on cooldown.
I think it's supposed to be. I don't think you're supposed to be allowed to V, is my guess.
Why? That's so silly.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like a decision.
What are these arbitrary rules?
Yeah, my guess is they don't want you to V, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. If you are supposed to be able to V, yeah, I definitely can't. I don't even know if you can V in here. Like, the match rounds aren't long enough for me to even get my V.
I did before.
Okay. So only at the very end of a second match, if both matches go long, you can V?
Yeah, pretty much.
I see. I'm coming in hot.
Oh my god, Grandia, just get down, Mr. President, for choice so hard right there.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but I'm gonna assume it means
He
something.
intercepted my grab. I went for a grab on choice, and Grandia just jumped right in front of him like a fucking Secret Service member, bro.
What the hell? Alright. That one, people felt a little bit more tanky. And so I imagine on live server with everyone probably having a lot more HP, it'd be even better, especially with artifacts, right? I'm really curious what a striker feels like in here. Like to hit one.
How much health do you have, out of curiosity?
5,090.
Interesting, okay.
You?
How much do you normally have?
6,500. Oh my god.
Oh, that Global Labs ping, though!
Oh god.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
I got countered by Global Labs. It's up to you.
It's alright, dude. Alright, got one. I'm in a 1v2.
Yep, 1v2. You got
No, I tried to tenon, but he flew from a mile away. I couldn't get in time.
this. I got Global Labs, bro. I grabbed Grandia, and then halfway through my grab animation, he long grabbed me. That long grab really needs to be nerfed, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Don't let it tell you. Everyone's dealing with it. It's fucking bad ping here. Unless you're Heedun and live in EU. Actually, is it still bad? I feel like it's still probably bad.
No, it's pretty good.
Is it? It's you don't feel like there's like desync and stuff?
Ah, that's just video.
Yeah, any more than usual is what you should say.
Hopefully if they go forward with this, we'll actually see some balance between classes. Yeah. No, I know. People won't hit the DR cap. That's the thing. A lot of people, I on live server do not hit the DR cap unless I cheese it. And I'm full C20. So, yeah, people will not hit the DR cap. Wait! Was that not 1-1?
No.
What was the score at the end?
Yeah, we got 0-2, didn't we?
No, we won one.
Wait, did we?
Oh, was it 1-2?
No, 1-2.
Oh, I guess it was 1-2. I don't know why. I thought it was 1-1 at the end. My bad.
Hold on. Let me look at these numbers. What? This is... It just keeps getting longer and longer. What am I... Why does it get exponentially longer every time we play a match? What does it mean? Not even Google Translate knows what it means.
What did you get for losing? I don't think they don't have any rewards on Global Lab if there are some. I'm queuing up again.
It's actually fairly worrying.
That there's no rewards? And that they haven't mentioned
I'm
any?
queued. Let's go.
Alright, it put me in already. Choice has 24,150 damage. Yeah, if you lose, your rating goes down. That's what you get. I mean, my guess is that the rewards are going to be like at the end of a season.
Okay, dude, I see how it is.
But,
Someone points out how much damage Choice has. I have 500 more damage than him. Don't get a shout out from me. Okay, dude, I see how it is.
Alright, Yumi is on my team again with Hedwick this time. Alright, Hedwick.
I'm loading in now. I may be getting placed on the enemy team.
Hedwick with a busted ass Dark Knight. Enjoy 6 million silver per match. Dude, I'd actually be surprised if it's even that.
It's gonna be nothing. You're gonna get nothing and you're gonna like it.
Wonder if you lose durability in here.
I am with Diesel and Choice. Whoever I'm fighting is fucked.
No, we have a Shy. You're fucked.
I wonder if we're on opposite teams. Wait, which side are you on?
I'm on the not water side.
No, we're on the same side, so we're in different matches.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fighting some people that I don't know. Zoldyck, Shimada, and someone else.
Falcon doubles there.
65%?
Diesel is on a Guardian.
Or it sounds like a... Wait, what does it say the speed is?
11 per second.
Oh, that's not too
not
bad.
bad.
But you have to download the whole thing, so that's rough. Yeah, for me, the patch took a while to download too, but it was like 9. Alright. Still has not started up. Is yours started, Rez? Like, this wait time in the beginning is really long and bad. Like, absurd. Like, this is far beyond someone's load screen wait time at this point. I don't know what this is. This is crazy. Can you dodge your match once in? My guess is yeah. I don't know if there's a official interface to do it, but you could probably just quit game. I think you lose point. I mean, you just lose your ladder rank, right? Maybe someone's using an old hard drive disk. I think even a hard drive disk is faster load time than this. Sorry for having an old PC. Dude, this is great. Like, I've been sitting here for well over a minute. In fact, my V is going to be off cooldown once this begins, and I'll be able to V during this match.
Isn't that something? The strat is to wait so your V's off cooldown before your enemies who load in 5 minutes later than you.
Oh, here we go. Our enemy only has 2 people. It's a Sage and a, what is that, a Nova?
No, don't say that, dude. Really?
Our enemy only has 2 people. It just showed the players.
No.
Let's see, general, show high. Let's see if I can... Hiding party member names does not hide my team's name. They're not technically in a party with me.
They're not party members.
Yeah. Alright. Oh, shit, I got caught immediately by something. Oh, these guys don't feel like they have optimized builds. I lived too many skills. Alright, now I died. It's a... I died pretty quick still, considering there's only a Nova. Alright! Wait.
Fun fact, when you have 2 of the same class on the same team, they flip.
Hold on. I have news, man. I have big news, Rez. We have 3 enemies, but one of them is not listed on the right side. There's a striker here that was not listed. This striker was not listed. Their 2 other teammates are dead. They have a striker still up. But on my screen, I only see that we have 2 enemies, but there's actually 3.
Very interesting.
This also needs a observe friend mode. Or observe... What happened? Did we get the striker? I think we got him. Nope. I don't know what's happening. What? Okay. I think we won? Yep.
That's nice.
We're up 1-0, I think. Are we team A? Yeah. We're up 1-0. They definitely have a third teammate, a striker, that it's not showing me. Oh, I need Armstrongs. Can I bring up the Black Spirit in here? Oh, you can. Wait, no. Okay. All right. Oh, the Nova's so low. All right, I think the Nova went down. Oh my god, they died so fast. There's no victory sound. It's so awkwardly quiet, right, Rez? Oh, Rez.
I play with all sounds muted, so...
Oh. Well, we won 2-0. My ladder rank's going up.
Congrats. I'm waiting for you on the other side, so just let me know when you're ready to queue back up.
You could celebrate. It wasn't a 3v2, it was a 3v3. You got DC'd and it let me join again. Oh, were you the striker in there? Okay, so it didn't show him because he got DC'd, but he did end up rejoining the match, but it never ended up showing him in the match list anyway. Okay. I was wondering how I died so fast in a 3v2. The Shy's ranking up, man. All right, let me. I'm almost ready, Rez. Hold on, I gotta switch these two skills that
I'm still trying to figure out what this history means. I'm so confused.
What do you mean what the history means? It just shows your wins and losses.
No, it doesn't though.
Yeah, it does. What are you talking about?
How does it
are you
show
asking
your wins and losses?
it defeat, victory, defeat, victory. It's in English. Is yours not in English?
The result, the history.
Yeah, I'm looking
underneath history.
Like what the messages? Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like the history of like this. I guess this whole thing is history, so it's kind of weird that that's a separate section that says history.
That's what I think that's supposed to be. I feel like that's supposed to be kills and deaths, but it's bugged out maybe.
Yeah, that must be what it is.
Google Translate is putting it at wins and losses, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, even if it's kills deaths doesn't make sense because there's so many blue and so many red.
That's what I'm saying. It must be bugged, but yeah, I don't know. That's
all right, queuing up. You ready?
Yeah, queuing up.
Yeah, I thought the history thing was a tab.
Also, one of the Shimada in that last game I played, the Mystic, he was red ranked. I don't know what that means, but everyone else is purple and he's red.
So he's already ranking up, or he got ranked down so bad?
I have no idea, but considering he did less than half the amount of damage of his teammates, I would say he probably got ranked down.
What is the damage? Is it
the far right column?
So the Shy outdamaged both of us by double? This Shy did more damage than me and Hedwig combined. Apparently, according to this.
You got carried by the Shy then, dude.
That's pretty crazy.
It's kind of weird that they are showing damage.
I know, it's kind of surprising.
Like, I'm not against it. It's just, like, really not PA style.
Let me break out the Google Translate again. I will tell you exactly what it is.
I wonder if they just kind of tried to copy the last character.
So the first column is kill deaths, which means last round I got 0 kills and 13 deaths. The second one is recovery amount. My whole team got 11. The enemy team got -11, -10, -11. So that makes sense. Then there's damage taken in the third column. So I took 2 damage.
You were a god.
Diesel took 1, and Joyce took 3.
Yeah, that's that. You know why I know that's wrong? Because mine also says 5, 0, and 1, but I died. So it's the stats are bugged right now for sure.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And then the damage taken also doesn't make any sense, or the damage dealt doesn't make sense because somehow the Shy actually did more damage than me and the Dark Knight combined.
I'm in a match, by the way. I only have 1 teammate.
Okay, I am not. I'm still in the queue.
I'm in a team with Zab.
I'm gonna run around the arena a little bit more and be annoying this time.
Oh, wait. It says we have a 3rd teammate, but we literally don't. Wait, what? Wait,
oh, I'm going in.
It says,
I'm going in. Maybe it's me.
It says we have another ninja on our team, but we don't.
Yeah, it does not seem.
What?
It does not seem.
Wait,
there's a party
he's here
queue.
somewhere. He just typed in chat. Wait, he's invisible.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, he's a ninja.
It does seem like there's no way to queue in a party. When I was in a party and I hit the match find thing, it said, you cannot do this while in a party. So it's solo queue. All right, I am with. What is this? I'm with a ninja and a Sork this time.
What would you say is the ratio waiting and gaming so far?
So,
dude, holy shit!
The queue time,
so
the queue time from when you hit the button to when you get into here isn't so bad, but this wait time in here is horrible. Also, now it's telling me I have 1 enemy. It says it's 3. It's 3 versus 1, but I know they're gonna have more than 1 person.
Dude, there is 4 ninjas in this match, and one of them is permanent concealment.
Yeah, it's gear capped, although I don't think it's showing me my cap. Is it? I can't tell. Maybe it is. No, it's not, because I'm over the DR cap. So it's not actually showing me the DR cap in the stats. Wait.
You know what's crazy? He's not even popping up when I hit control to bring up the mouse. That's crazy.
Wait, we actually only have one teammate. Or one enemy. I think? Yeah, we just have a Nova. I did not get the last hit. That's unfortunate for this Nova that he ended up in a 3v1. I wonder how that happened. I wonder if the 2 people disconnected during that. So at the end of the match, Heedun, to further answer your question or elaborate further, at the end of the match, it puts you in a load screen and then it puts you back at the end of like the first kill. And then you have to wait 20 seconds. Which I think is okay. I'm trying to think. 20 seconds is okay, right? That's not too bad to wait for round 2.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that part seems to happen pretty quickly and pretty smoothly. But the problem for me is just how long we are waiting in the starter area before the first match is crazy long. And the other thing that's odd is at the end of the match, once you win, wait, this arena goes way up, Rez. Like, you could go all the way up the stairs?
Yeah, I know. I literally just chased a ranger, like, pretty high up there.
Wait, oh. Wait, this arena is giant, actually. You could, like, really fuck around in here. You have access to, like, everything. Alright, let's see. These stairs go up. You could actually have a fight up here on these stairs. Okay, it stops here at the shade. Okay, this is kind of cool. You go in this little random room. Should allow food now.
I still just feel like it's missing something in the middle, though. Whether that's a dip or a rise of
dude,
some sort,
you
a
know,
structure.
You know what'd be cool is like a rock that you can't climb, but you have to run around. Like
Yeah. Like, even that would be fine. Just something. It's just a big flat open... It's just Garmoth Nest 2.0.
Well, it's cool. I like it more than Garmoth's Nest because Garmoth's Nest has Garmoth in it. Garmoth's Nest inherently isn't that bad. The problem with Garmoth's Nest is it's not limited to 3 people per team, and Garmoth exists in there. Wait, by the way, this is weird that at the end of the match, it doesn't just pull you out. It puts you back at the starter area and then waits a while, like 30 seconds too.
While it thinks.
Yeah. The problem is it isn't flat. Yeah, but it's not flat. Like, I see what you're saying, but most skills should be pretty okay in most of that area. Because it's as flat as, like, Battle Arena is flat. So I think it's fine.
Alright, out of curiosity, what's your rank number at? What's your elo?
So I've been just straight climbing. I'm 1198. I think I'm down 2 points somehow.
So it actually is... That is actually working, because I'm at 1234.
What's your win-loss?
4-1.
Okay, I'm 3-2. I'm negative to what we started at though, which is weird for having 3 wins. But
oh, you're blue crystal now. I'm an orange one. What does that mean?
Are you orange or yellow?
This might be.
Do you look like a Shy's hair? That's
no,
yellow.
it's more orangey than that.
Okay.
Here, let me see what this. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it started us at 1200, right?
Don't move off that screen.
I gained 3 points last match.
Okay, you're in Sapphire 5 apparently. That's what Google Translate is saying. And I am in Topaz 1.
Okay, topazes are not orange, so you're definitely trolling.
Listen, I'm queuing up.
All right. I think it's safe to say Heedun's not getting in tonight.
Yeah, he knows that.
75.
Just getting progressively slower as he goes along. Oh no.
Okay, so
I mean, it doesn't
yeah,
look like I'm in a hurry. Like it
no,
doesn't seem
you're chilling.
finished.
No, it definitely is not. It's definitely a little bit buggy.
So I wonder if the crystals or whatever you want to call them, the gems, like how I'm in Topaz, you're in Sapphire. I wonder if that's just like different like leagues or not like they're not.
Yeah, it is.
connected,
Did you not see the notes?
I did not know.
Yeah, it showed like the different ranks that like as you go up, similar to like League, like Platinum, Diamond, whatever.
Okay.
It's like all different of these gems, different colors, and they're like
Interesting.
Pride, Duo, Tet, Pen, up and up and up, and then after you hit Pen, you go to the next rank or whatever.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh,
Yeah.
I got in a load screen and then my game crashed.
Oh.
Nice.
I got into a load screen and then it gave me another load screen. And now I'm inside with one person. Nope, 2 people. I have 2 people on my team here. I have a Hash and a Lawn. Do we think the ranks actually affect matchmaking though? Maybe not here on Global Labs, but they are supposed to, yes.
I mean, if they don't, what's the point?
Yeah, if they don't. Yeah, the whole thing is supposed to have an MMR or an ELO. Like they talked about that. So, yes. I think that I don't know. I like the arena. It does need something in the middle, like a rocker.
Yeah,
I don't know because you can run on the
there, but
you can run on the edges. So you're not. I'm trying to think of a situation where like if you got put up against like a Suck Ranger, an Archer, and I don't know. Let's just say a Sork, for example. Like, how much range or a Wizard? Are you like? You can kind of avoid it by skirting left and right, and then there's obstacles on the edges, just not in the center. I do wonder what the play would be if you're ranking up. Do you run super down the middle, or do you skirt the edges?
it would depend on your comp, theoretically, right?
Well, of course, but
I'm getting an alert. I don't know what it says because it's not in English, but I'll click yes. Maybe this will put me back in the queue that I was in?
so this is my biggest issue so far. Hopefully it doesn't come like this. This wait time after it loads you in is very odd. And very long. It's longer than the whole match takes.
Really?
Like, this is a long... Like, I've been in here... Since Rezlar said he DC'd, I've been in here. And we still don't have a fight, or it hasn't begun yet.
Right.
So I'll let you know once it starts.
I'm with
I wonder
Diesel
if it's because... I wonder if it's because, like, it just loads one team, and then it pairs it with another team, so it's like...
Yeah.
We might be against you guys, Frosty. I'm on the other side of the arena. We might be in the same match.
Okay, maybe that's what the wait was.
Yep,
Yes.
there it is.
Okay. So I guess the wait... Maybe there's just not enough people, so it's like...
When somebody crashes, I think it's like wants to wait for them to reload.
Yeah, I wonder if that means that someone's been crashing basically every round. One of the 6 people is crashing, and that's why it's taking
Hey,
so
it's
long.
tragic, but it could be.
It's possible. Alright. So... Oh my god, 2 Suckzerkers. God, dude. I think Rezlar and Choice went down real fast. I don't know what happened there, but...
Now we just got obliterated, dude.
I'm just so surprised
Alright.
of the damage. Like, looking at the numbers, it looked like the damage is going to be a lot lower.
Also, I'm pretty sure I'm invisible
What do you
for
guys
my
think?
teammates.
Yeah,
because...
that's what Aaron Rio said, that Rezlar's invisible on Choice's screen.
Yeah, Diesel was like, "Oh, I guess we're 2v3ing," and I was like, "Wait, can you guys not see me?" And they didn't say anything. So I think if someone disconnects and then they reconnect, they're invisible for their teammates.
I'm with you, Heedun. It's a little bit surprising just because of the AP cap wasn't like anything crazy. It wasn't like you get it at 309 or 316 or 324, but the DR cap is extremely high. And I have the 30% DR. I wonder if there's caps on some of this other stuff that they just haven't mentioned yet.
So wait, Frosty, you guys can see me though, right?
Yeah, I saw you.
I mean, with the person saying that he doesn't trust the damage in global, in theory, the arena is capped. So, if you maxed out everything, that it's you know, the stats are the same, no matter what.
I think my team is
Base
dead.
kill damage.
They are dead. Me and Diesel killed both of them.
Yeah, I just died standing up like instantly in here. The thing is, I'm interested in too is if a Corsair is in here, if this water fucks with their mobility skills. Because there's a layer of water that looks really cool, and I like how it looks aesthetically. But if I want, like Corsair, if you grind Swamp Fogans, their little slide thing makes them hop up on the water and then get a fall animation all the time. So I wonder if they're gonna have that issue here. It seems relatively shallow though, so maybe not. Alright, I don't feel like I helped my team that much in that fight.
So does it feel still like one-shotty?
Not one shot, but it definitely feels like the time to kill is very low. Or yeah.
Yeah. You can very easily one combo people. And if two people get like throw down a good amount of damage on one person at the same time, even without a CC, they can die pretty fast if they take the brunt of it.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I don't know, trials feel a bit better to me than this. Even though like sometimes trials you run into people you can't kill, which does suck. But this one is like if everyone does shit in the middle, like yeah, that you die fast. But again, like I don't know. Like on live I'd have so much more HP, right? So it's hard to tell.
Oh no,
Like
dude! I just saw Choice get CC'd out of his iframe, dude. I'm mad for him. Oh, that sucks.
So we won 2-1. Let's see. Like this needs like a sound effect or something. There needs to be like a cheer animation. Also, I think it would be a million times better if instead of putting us at the spawns, just instantly put us in a load screen that shows us that win screen. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, the waiting time. Ironically, not the loading time, but the waiting time.
Yeah, the
is
waiting time. The
way too long.
The load time's quick.
It could be, unironically, this could be a global thing, because even if for me the ping is lower, for example, getting into BA takes like solid 30, 40 seconds.
That's true. That's
which is very unusual. So it might be literally a global up thing.
It has that now processing thing that takes forever, right? When you go into battle arena. Someone said, Convection says you need time to tell your teammate how bad they perform.
It's true.
You do need a moment for that. That's true. All right, Rez. Let's do one more, and then let's talk until Heedun's able to get in, if he's able to get in.
83.
So it only goes to 5 matches. Your match history. There's no way to scroll or anything, which is interesting.
All right, I'm in already. Or it's getting me in already. I mean, considering how few people are probably in global out since we keep getting the same match, the queue time's not so bad.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, I'm sure there's 0 matchmaking right now because they're just like trying to make sure things are working and fix whatever bugs that people find.
There's 0 matchmaking because the mod just released. I mean,
right.
Even if there was a matchmaking, what do you think? People are like challenger already.
I don't know, man. I saw a Mystic who was red when everyone else was purple.
Mystic players probably fed so hard, dude.
I got
bronze.
Crunk God with me and someone named Ratro. So I got a Nova and a Warrior.
I'm with 2 Lawns.
Oh shit.
I'm fighting choice. Fuck my life.
Another thing, the matchup should show during that waiting period at the beginning so your team can plan. Well, the matchup does show. Oh wait, didn't it just show? Or has it not shown? I don't know what's happening. Actually, we have a countdown and it's not showing. It did show the first time. Didn't it do that, Rose? Like the first time before the counter, it showed the matchup. I think it's bugging out, Nayashe, and I think it's supposed to. And it's bugging out. Because the first time, I swear, it showed me the matchup and then the timer started.
Like, jokes aside, I think if the arena is successful, I can see myself buying a nothing. Selling my Zarka.
Oh my god.
Bro, how do I have 2 Lawns on my team and neither of them can grab choice? What is happening?
Alright, we got farmed. This Shy does too much damage. They figured something out. Yeah. Hopefully the caps don't stay in a way. I mean, the way it's set up, it's like the fact that you'd have to use an often to benefit is actually just sad.
I don't understand why they have this obsession with making things more complicated than they need be.
It's weird because the trials have all 5 stats. Like, they already knew this was an issue on the old trials and, like, did it correctly on the new trials. Alright, here we go. What do I have? Alright, Crunk God. Live longer. I'm E-buffing right off the bat this time.
They must have also changed something on the last second, because didn't they say it was like something about 1v1 too?
Yes, they did. That was the interesting thing to me about the Global Labs when it first came out this time. It was like, I guess they got rid of the 1v1 thing. Thank God, in my opinion, but they definitely were making like very, very last minute changes.
That's how they do things. I mean, it's a good last minute change. So there's that.
It's a good last minute non-change because they wanted to so badly and they saw everyone was like, please don't.
Right, I'm stuck in a 1v1 with this Sork now. Here we go.
Really curious about the human damage, because if human damage isn't capped, you can potentially do some wild cheese build with Mana Successors. And with Mana Successor, I mean the human damage one for the zoomers out there.
Alright. I think we lost that because this orc is unhittable and I was just taking damage. I think it would go by HP, right? At the end? Is there anywhere to check overall rankings
Like if
right
the
now?
timer
Not really.
ran out? Probably.
So easy to hit a Sork. Yeah, I think the timer ran out.
Yeah, Frosty, why didn't you just run him out of stamina, dude?
I don't know. That was my bad. That one was on me. Oh, I guess
That's
they
what
won.
literally
They-
over the.
I hate that.
How,
I hate that it makes you feel like you have another round. Yeah, it just needs to end. It definitely just needs to end at the end. What? That putting it at the start area is such an odd thing. It doesn't do that in AOA, so it's odd that they would make it do that in here.
yeah.
Does the match time seem long or no? Not really. What is it? 3 minutes? So worst case scenario, your match takes 9 minutes, since it's a best of 3. It doesn't seem that bad to me. Yeah, if you have buffs, you go in the arena, removes your buffs, you come out, it gives you the buffs back. That part is nice. Yeah, the waiting is what makes it feel like it's actually forever. Maybe 3 minutes is a bit long. It probably would force a little bit more aggression if it's 2 minutes. Is it 3 minutes now? I can't remember. I think it is, right?
The match duration?
Yeah.
I think so.
Huh?
I want to say it is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe 2 minutes would make more sense since it's 3 matches. Potentially 3 matches. But yeah, the waiting feels super long. I have some basic add-ons, yeah. I don't have anything like super spectacular, but not add-ons that are really that beneficial since yeah, I don't know. Just some basic, really basic add-ons.
Add-ons don't work. I don't think they fixed them. I mean, it's not like they don't work, but they don't do what they show.
Do they not? I think they do know. They actually changed it recently.
Did they change it?
Yeah, they changed it semi-recently, and it actually has like a full list of proper add-ons now.
You can even try because there's like foxes north of Heidel. Like,
oh, I need a skill add-on guide.
Really.
Forgot. Let's see. What is my tenant cutter one? DP minus DP and evasion. Oh, it's not going to show me those. I think. Oh, here. I'll be able to test it. Is this URES?
It is, yes.
Okay. Let me put did you get minus? Yeah, so minus DP and evasion are working on it. So I think they're working.
Okay. Oh, nice. They were bugged for a long time.
Long ass time. Like literally the day they changed those add-ons, they like didn't fix it for like a year and a half or 2 years.
Yeah.
Does BSR reset prior to the match? Yes. V cooldown. For me, the V cooldown starts on cooldown. So you basically don't really have V until the 3rd match or late into the 2nd match if it goes long. Which I wonder if that's on purpose or just the way they move you. I feel like V's reset in arena, so I'm kind of surprised that they don't want you to V. But I do think, all right, so V obviously would extend the length of the match. They should definitely, it should probably only be 2 minutes per match, right? Is that seem unreasonable?
No, I think that would be fine, honestly. The main thing though, more than the match, the duration is just that wait time, man. Fuck.
Yeah. I wonder how much of that is just like Global Labs bugginess and lack of people plus beta. Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe they could even just like tell you what, you want to add a twist to it. Like, why not just make it like the longer the rounds go, the slightly shorter they get. So you can have the first round be 3 minutes, then 2:30, then 2 if it goes to round 3. There's your something special that you wanted so bad, PA. I did it for you. You're welcome.
All right. Let's run through the checklist, Rez.
Yep.
So the health bars need to it needs to be easy to differentiate enemies from allies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is incredibly difficult to do because they have the same health bars right now.
Yep.
The wait times in the beginning are wonky, and also at the end, teleporting you to the starter zone instead of just ending the match and showing you your score is also odd. V. Do we think V should be a thing, right? In every round?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't even know if it needs to be something in every round. I feel like if
1V for the best of 3?
yeah, I feel like just have it reset the cooldown of V whenever the match starts, and then it can have its normal 5-minute cooldown. That way, if you really push you as a strat, you could theoretically push your rounds really fucking late to have a V up in the 3rd round if that was something you wanted to do, but it wouldn't even really be that beneficial. But the option's available. But then everyone gets 1 V.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not unreasonable.
Eden, your thoughts on the V?
Just mixed feelings overall. If people are squishy, then yeah, I guess it's good. So if people are really tanky, and then you just start to combo them, then they resist because everyone is gonna have capped resist, and then they V at the end, and it's gonna be incredibly frustrating, right? But if people are fairly squishy, then it makes more sense. I'm not against it.
The design of the arena, Rez?
I like it. I think Elune is a fun place to have it be. However, I still think there needs to be something in the middle. I don't know what that something is, but something. Just something. I feel like Big Rock would be fine. I almost feel like you specified specifically unclimbable Big Rock. I don't think you want it to be climbable.
No, you
I think
definitely
you just want
do not.
something in the way.
Yeah.
If it is climbable, you need it to be like walkable. Like you don't have to climb up it. You can just walk right the fuck up.
Or you could have 2 rocks, or pillars or whatever. Like let's say, I know the arena is kind of like a big circle.
I hate that I see you opening paint.
I
on
know.
stream
It's
right
just
now.
to make it easy. So right now, if the spawn entrance is here and the spawn entrance is here, and you have all this other stuff on the right and the left side, you could have like an obstacle here and an obstacle like here. So it's not directly in the middle, where you kind of has a little bit of strategy similar to AOA, where it's like people go to the pillar sometimes on the left and the right. Or I suppose you could even have one just like dead center, just something that is like you're not guaranteed getting hit unless you like commit. Oh, I don't know. It's like the thing is, I don't know how you balance an obstacle between ranged and melee to make it completely fair, you know?
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think even more than one obstacle could be fine as long as it's not climbable.
Yeah.
But it also can't be too cluttered, right? We don't want it to be Valencia City RBF back alleyways, right? With like 16 sticks that you have to maneuver through.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe they can just add some big rocks or some trees or something. Or just one big fucking boulder. It just needs something in the middle. It feels too empty in the middle. Of course, we know they'll probably do 0 of this because they don't. They probably aren't gonna change just Olunes.
They could have a giant statue of an Olun in the center.
Yeah, and then it comes to life for 30 seconds every round, and it just attacks the nearest foe. That seems like a fun thing to add.
That's the sudden death. Yeah, if it goes to the rubber match, you 1v1 the golem.
The golem comes to
95?
life, and it does the green attack, and it just spins in circles like a fucking water hose that you don't have a grip on. It just fucking flies all over the place. Last one to survive wins.
The interface for queuing. I mean, it's simple enough, right?
Yeah, so
it's
if
fine.
we take away okay, let's try and separate what is likely the bugs from what is likely the design. I think it's fine. Obviously, it's kind of hard to tell because it's not in English, but I'm assuming that the history bit is supposed to be kills and deaths, is what I'm thinking it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's wins and losses, like of the actual round, but I'd almost rather it be kills and deaths, but even if it's not kills and deaths, it's wins and losses, that's fine because you can click on the arrow to get the more stats. Once they get all of those actually working, I think that'll be good. Obviously, it's not right now, but once that's all working, I think that'll be good. Once again, I feel like why can't we? So we have damage. Why can't we have assists? I feel like assists would be a not hard thing to add. That would mean something to some players. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, you're not wrong. I mean, that would be nice. There's no way they're adding that. But it would be, I mean, since it has damage, you kind of do know that you've contributed, right? Since your damage is there.
Right, yeah.
Like, whereas in
But,
Node
like,
War, it's
if-
like doesn't
let's-
tell you
let's say-
anything. So an assist would be so nice to show in Node War.
Right. But let's say like assists are only like if somebody dies and you damage them in the last like I don't know, like 5
Yeah.
or 10 seconds.
No, I agree.
Right?
Assists should definitely be there for sure. It would be nice. They're there in
Yeah.
Lost Ark. They should be there in this too.
Or even better than assists. Like I don't know if they even have a way to count this, but like CCs would be another interesting stat to see, right?
Yeah.
Arguably better than assists. Even CCs would be a really interesting stat to have there. I don't know if that's even possible, but it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, I like CCs more than assists. If I had to pick between one of them, I'd pick CCs, honestly.
So you said yours is only showing only 6 matches or 5? Or what'd you say?
It was only showing 5, so once I played
Okay.
a 6 match, it deleted the very first match that I did.
I wonder if that's intentional or scroll, because when you extend these out, it lets you scroll, so it's definitely scrollable. Look at these ones where it shows
Interesting.
my enemy that didn't have team, even though. So this, where it was one Nova, he actually didn't have teammates, but this Sage and this Nova, they had a striker.
Yeah, that's just the bugs, right?
Yeah, that was like, so the striker, or maybe, well, the one with you where you said you disconnect and reconnected, it still shows you there. We just had to wait
Yeah.
long.
Even though Diesel and Choice couldn't see me.
Yeah. All right, let's say they fix the bugs. Let's say the matchmaking works pretty well. The ranking works as how it looks like it's intended to work. Could you see yourself spamming this all day if there's no in-game silver benefit?
Okay, key question. Can I queue with friends or not?
Based on this, the answer looks to be no, and I think
Then no, I'll probably never play this.
you'll probably never play it.
No,
I think
if
it
there's no
makes-
rewards and I can't
There's
play with my
an argument
friends.
for it.
Yeah, maybe Heedun, you can elaborate better, because I want to queue with friends too, but I totally understand why it would be completely unfair for ranking.
I think the
anyway.
the best argument is that it just first of all, PA hates friendships and like playing with other people.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
there's not-
This is a
there's
single player
not-
game.
There's no content in this game that like promotes playing with friends. And on top of it, like they are so scared of making that a thing where you need other people to do something. And in this case, there actually is some kind of argument for it, because if you just go on a pre-made, what's going to happen is that there's going to be 3 best classes that people are going to figure out within a week at best. And if you don't play those 3 classes, then you're not playing this arena, because everyone is just going to want 2 other people that play, the 2 other classes, and everyone's going to be super tryhard about it.
Right.
Which you can say, okay, it's not, it's not wrong. It's like playing ranked, right, in League, for example. But at the same time, I do think it would promote like a very toxic environment. I think the best thing would be having solo queue, right, with tournaments, like maybe monthly tournaments where you can go with your friends, because
No.
that way it's like you can actually try hard, really really hard there with the
No.
content.
Or an unranked version where you queue with your friends, like similar to Lost Ark. You could 3v3 unranked with friends.
Yes, I don't understand why we can't just have why are we so intent on me wanting to play with my friends on a Saturday morning? No, not allowed, because you guys might play something that's a little strong. Like,
Well, for ranking,
why?
I mean, it's just completely unfair. Like, all right, if I queue in randomly,
Every game in existence does this,
no,
Frosty.
it doesn't. League literally separates flex from solo queue. You know this. It's literally separate. What do you mean every game? League, the game that you know very well, does not do this. They do not put full flex pre-made groups against normal people who are solo queuing. So how could you say with a straight face that every game does this?
Oh, but you can duo queue.
Lost Ark doesn't do it. League doesn't do it. Yeah, you can duo queue, and it's a separate queue with other people that are also duo queuing. Oh, no, sorry. Duo queue is different. No, you're right. Duo queue, you can. But duo queue is different because you have 5 people, so the variable's a lot less. You have less impact as a team, even though you do still have impact. And people think duo queue is unfair. I definitely have heard people complain about, like, well, oh, that's a group that's together. I just think it needs to be separate. Like, if you queue together, it should just be like a separate, I mean, similar to Lost Ark, honestly. It's like kind of the easiest way.
So let's get this out of the way first. We all agree that there should be a ranked and unranked queue, right?
Definitely. 100%.
And ranked, you can have whatever rules that you want. Like, sure, I get it. Even though you can't queue with friends, but you can still use a ghillie suit. Okay, do that. Unranked, you should just be able to do basically whatever you want because it's unranked and who cares.
It would be even better to have ranked and like solo queue and 3v3. Both ranked.
Wait, Kerr's also...
Yeah,
that's me. That's me.
Very true.
Kerr's also pointing out you can only duo queue until Diamond anyway, not at the top. Which I think is true, right? If you're in Master, Grandmaster, or Challenger, you can't duo queue.
Okay, so let me queue with my friends and be shit in the ranked mode. But anyway, so in the event
do you actually not
see
see the balance, like how that would matter? Or I'm just curious.
I think that the benefits of having one player on your team that you're friends with in a game where the TTK is 0.5 seconds is much less of a benefit than a game like League of Legends that takes a minimum of 25 minutes.
You think because the time that the ranked match makes it less important if the one team is unfair?
Absolutely. Because in League of Legends, there is so much that you have to rely on.
I don't understand that at all. That makes no sense to me. The time is irrelevant. You're still just ranking up.
I don't think we should be comparing League to this game.
Okay, anyways, what I was saying was in the event that we can't get what we literally all agree on, which is that we should just have separate queues.
Okay.
You guys think that it would be better to prevent like casual players from having fun playing with their friends to just have the most hardcore of people to placate those people?
I mean, I think there should just be 2 queues. Like,
I know, but in the event that they don't do that, because they almost certainly will not.
then you kind of just do away with the ranking in general, right? Then what's the ranking for? If you're not in a pre-made team with preset class distribution and preset practice, what are you queuing for? The rest of the people just shouldn't queue.
Well, because there's no alternative.
Okay. Well, then that's why I believe there should be an alternative. But if there's not, solo queue is technically the most fair.
Okay. Interesting.
But I think there should be 2 queues, like, for sure.
No, I understand that, and that's where we can all agree, but
I don't think I don't know. Yeah. It's just, look, I would love to be able to, if BDO had a player base, and I'm only using League, I'm not saying League is the same game, Heedun. Obviously it's not. But MMR and queuing up and that sort of stuff is definitely comparable, and you can use it as a comparison. And in this case, if we had as many players as League, where you could have like 3v3 team queue, a 3v3 solo queue, and then 3v3 unranked, where it's like there's plenty of people and you always find matches for all 3 modes, that would be ideal. But we're definitely going to be a lot more limited than that and have to kind of pick one or the other, right? I imagine. And, well, I don't know. On one hand, as fun as it is to play with friends, because I also would 100% want to play with friends, I can guarantee you, unless someone is playing like really, really hardcore and they're competitive, like casual people going in and fighting against Whizbelly, Reezy, and Nihilus are not going to have fun. It's just, they're not.
But, okay, so in a world where there's no unranked queue, and this is a fully ranked system that you can queue with your friends, the people who are tryharding, like Wiz, are going to climb, while me and my dog shit casual friends are going to vault.
But again, that their benefit of that is like, okay, so the same pre-made team, because they have friends and they happen to be friends and they're the best players, they just always win the ladder. Everything, like no one should be able to solo queue win it, because you're gonna get random teams. Like the other people get random people. You don't know if the people are gonna disconnect. They're gonna try. You're not in voice. You have no coordination. Like that's the thing. It's like the advantages aren't just they're all three good, but they all three are in voice. They're all three coordinating. They're calling CCs, etc., etc., etc.
I think being random makes it a bit more spicy. You have to deal with different comps every single time, hopefully, and different people every single time. I think it's probably better overall, like for the health of the mode.
Yeah. Now that being said, I do agree. You should like having a ranked one where you, or an unranked one where you queue up. The other thing too is are they matching up people that are paired, like double wizard, or have they mentioned that?
I mean, I've been matched with Choice multiple times in just the few matches we've done here today, so.
Oh yeah, true.
Plus I had four ninjas in one match, 2 on my team and 2 on the enemy team.
Yeah, so I guess that, I wonder if that's intended or if it's just because they know there's limited people on here trying.
You guys probably don't give a shit, but I just figured out that you cannot put caps on mana strings. Meaning that it probably is not going to be good for min-maxing.
Oh, the random, the resist ones?
No, the human damage one.
Oh, okay.
Also probably the resist one. I don't have that in my inventory right now to check, but I would assume it's the same on those ones.
Yeah, I think, like, I'm not disagreeing with anything you
I
guys
get
are
what you're
saying in regards to ranked queues. I am just saying that, like, I feel like I need to speak this as the only casual person here. I have to represent my casual brethren.
Well, that's
if
not.
This doesn't have good rewards, and if I can't play with friends, I am never going. This is going to be team battle all over again.
I don't think you're the only
just not
casual
interested.
person here. That's just false. Like I also, like, what am I going to be, a professional PvPer of some sort? Like, dude, if I'm getting solo queued, I don't have friends to go with, or like I don't have a pre-made team. So if I'm just getting solo queued against Reezy, Nihilus, and Belly over and over again with randoms, I'm also not playing. So it's like in the same side of the, or the opposite side of the same coin. It's like, yeah, I want to queue with friends. That would be fun, but I know my friends aren't going to be available all the time, and or they won't want to rank all the time or whatever. So I'm definitely going to want a solo queue, and I'm just going to get shit on in solo queue against pre-made teams constantly. That also sounds awful, and I would not really want to participate.
I'm in game, by the way.
Yeah, fair.
I'm gonna try to
But
queue up.
okay, so Goins is saying won't rank eliminate that chance. Yes, so I have to concede that I will always be platinum because I don't have friends, or I don't have the right friends, or a casual player. Let's say someone like that does want to participate in the ladder, but doesn't really care or want to play with friends, or have the friends to play with, or have friends that are competitive, or maybe their friends just happen to suck. They are always forced to be in low ranks because their friends aren't good. Like that, well, like that's not an actual solution. Yes, it would. The ladder would put all of the good teams, pre-made teams at the top, and all the non-pre-made teams at the bottom. Then what is the point of queuing as the non-pre-made team?
On top of that, especially at the top, is gonna be like 1 hour minimum queue if you queue up with 3 people. Like,
All right. Let's all queue up together right now. Now that you're in and ready to
I'm
go.
already in.
Okay.
In a team.
Is
But
it in a wait screen?
Match hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
So
All right. We'll probably get in there.
maybe you
dude.
guys
Let's
can.
go. We'll get in there. I feel it.
So once again, let's just clarify that we all are in agreement that they just need to separate everything.
Yeah, separate brackets is Neve. That's what I don't know if you just joined, but that's literally what I've been saying the whole time. Like, you can do it separately. Yeah, let ranked solo queue be one of the ladders, and you could even have a ranked team queue or an unranked team queue.
Yep.
For the other one. 100%.
Very easy solution. Just have 3 queues. You have ranked solo queue, ranked threes queue, and an unranked queue. Very easy fix.
Yeah, the only problem with that easy fix, because that is an easy fix, is I don't know if we have enough people that you're going to have queue times that aren't like 5, 10, 15 minutes. if you separate it by
I
3.
think at prime time, I don't think that'll be a problem. But yeah, if you play it like odd hours, I think that could be an issue.
You know what they
for
do
sure.
in, again, I hate to use Lost Ark as a comparison again, but what they do in Lost Ark for the 6v6 queues that aren't nearly as popular is they only have set times for them. So you can queue up for them between the hours of like 4 and 6 every day. And it pops up and alerts everyone that they're available to go. So that could be an idea for, I don't know, maybe like either the ranked flex or whatever you'd want to call it.
Okay, I casted Crows and I got a triple kill and we won the first round.
All right.
Nerf that class.
I did not end up in your match. Yeah.
The issue is I don't have potions. Because you guys did say it was normal potions.
Yeah.
But I forgot.
Yeah, I have,
And there's no NPC for some reason.
I have 2 pots left and no mana pots.
The fact that this is no RBF potions, by the way, makes me think that, and the long queue times, I think this is like some kind of very fucked up, like, transportation that they do in game. Like, you're probably playing in Olens, in actual Olens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Just like
I think
Valencia
there's some
RBF.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think there's some really fucky coding going here.
Okay, so Stargun Gunrocks is saying, shouldn't it just work like MMR and SC2 teams? You have your own MMR, but you also have MMR per duo for pre-mades. You can queue solo or with a party, but you get matched according to MMR. But the thing you're missing in that, Gunrocks, that you're leaving out that we already did address, is you're not getting just match based purely on your MMR. You're also getting match based on if you're doing 2v2s or 1v1, which are 2 entirely different queues. They're 2 entirely separate pools of players doing a totally separate, which is exactly what we are saying should be a thing. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean with the sorry, it's not related to what you were just talking about. When you would win and you go back to the spawn.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so weird.
It's so weird, and I don't know why we go there. When you win twice in a row, why do you go to the spawn? Like for a moment there, you start getting ready for the fight again because you kind of like lose track.
It is very bizarre.
Yeah,
I have to say, I haven't played BDO since I got this new monitor, but the ultra wide video experience pretty good.
You like? I thought it would be weird. I maybe I need to try it. I was thinking about getting one.
I mean, I bought the ultra wide for
Lost
another
Ark.
game, and
yeah,
loving it. But it looks good on video too.
Caps aren't working. It seems.
Caps aren't working.
Is that true? Are you saying that like you heard
I
that?
don't think it's true because I'm running some weird shit right now. I'm doing a lot of damage. I can tell you that.
Choice stream incoming. Caps are not working. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why the damage seems so high. Oh, we stopped and tested. Ah, okay. What was the test? Wait, can I get? Do you think Choice would hop in voice for a second? Is he about to end his stream? I got to bare minimum gear, then added more. Already ended. No, he did not host me. Or at least if he did, I don't see it.
I'd be really surprised if caps are not working because I'm running off in Narc Cecil right now with DR, and I'm doing so much damage.
Am I trolling? Did my stream just not notify me? I don't see. I don't think he did.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't know. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So, oh, wait, why is it not saying? That's so weird. Maybe my shit's like busted. Well, welcome everyone from Choice's stream. So, did it Choice test it on his stream? Yeah, shout out to Choice. I don't know why, it's probably just bugged. Okay. That's weird. Thank you so much to Choice. The shout out to Choice. Yeah, I don't know why. It's not in the notifications or anything.
He tested and rage quitted. Oh no.
Yeah, he tested and rage quit. Oh, that's kind of funny.
Let's try to queue together and
Okay.
see if we can.
My match just ended, so.
Can you change gear?
Oh, except in
Do
Discord.
we
Here,
make
wait.
a new call or?
Yeah, let me I'm gonna create a group and then start a call. Hold on one sec.
All right, yeah. Also, my game just ended, so I think Frosty's just
Yeah.
ended too.
I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
Choice can fill us in. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start the new call right now.
Good evening, gamer.
Good evening. Thank you so much for the host, by the way. I don't know why, but it did not notify me or say anything. But thank you for the host. Shout out to Choice. All right, what is your feeling, Choice, on what you've seen? Actually, first explain the cap stuff. Did you test it?
Twitch's hosting thing is just broken for the last like week or so. It doesn't show host only raids.
Ah, got it. Okay.
But as for the test, it was like really quick test. It was like a one-time thing. But it basically, I went up to 336 AP. I did the same ability 5 times in a row that has a 100% crit rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I did all of Armin's life except for 1.4k. Then I went to the cap and I did the same 5 of the same ability that has 100% crit.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to 2.5k.
Okay, so you definitely were
able
to
a pretty
exceed the cap.
significant difference. Yeah,
I'm
it was.
gonna
It was.
say,
It was.
Did you remove
significant.
accuracy by doing that? I mean, removing accessories, right?
Basically, I removed 24 accuracy, just 2 earrings. Or yeah, I think it was 24.
Okay.
However, Armin, I don't know if Armin's wearing evasion or DR. I don't know what he was wearing, but
well, the cap for DR, I mean, the thing is with the accuracy, and like I'm at like well above the evasion cap, and I'm wearing DR.
Let's try to queue up together. See if we can.
All right, don't forget to
get
buy
some
pots.
testing going.
Did you buy some pots?
I did buy potion. Yes. Okay. Oh, I'm almost out of health potions now.
All
My
right.
character is like super overweight.
Yeah,
you
dude.
guys could potentially test it more if you get in the same party. But it was just like a one-time quick little test.
Yeah, and you were.
What skill did you use, Choice?
It's Frenzy Destroyer.
Oh, FD. Okay.
Yeah, 5 times in a row.
All right, so assuming the caps were to work in the future, what are your feelings on that match? Hold on, I'm overweight. This buying real pots is actually awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that there's not a vendor in there that if you forget pots, you can buy it real quick before the match starts.
Yeah.
And the fact that it doesn't use RBF pots is kind of just weird anyway.
What?
I'm sure.
Something being scuffed on Global Labs?
All right, queuing up. 3, 2, 1, go.
Double click it.
Why double?
Yeah, you have to click it twice, I guess.
Yeah, you have to click it twice for some reason.
So.
I think it worked with 1 click.
Oh, okay. Mine does 2.
I have to click it twice every time.
Or maybe it's just really delayed. It might just be really delayed.
No, it's not. I've clicked once and like trying to figure out why I'm not in queue, and then I had to click it a second time.
EU clicks.
What are your feelings on the arena itself? Choice, yeah.
Because of the delays, I really expected more. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand how it was a 1 month delay. And this is like some of the most bare bones stuff we've ever seen. It's like, hey, here's an MMR system where you gain 11 points every time you win and you lose 12 every time you lose. It added in a queue with 1 map and some not very well thought out gear caps. Like, I don't know how this took an extra month. In concept, it's very basic, and I think that's what a lot of people wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's going to get really boring fast having 1 map. I also don't love that there can be duplicate classes. I think that there should only be 1 of every kind.
Yeah.
That. And then also being able to queue up with your friends. Like if you have similar enough ranking, if there is no duplicate classes allowed, then I don't know. I think it'd be kind of, I guess voice communications would be sort of an advantage. And someone sort of had an idea like, what if there's a party queue and there's a regular solo queue? So I don't know, but I do think that whatever solution they want to come up with, there
Yeah.
should be one to allow people to queue up with friends.
I
Suck
agree.
Zerker, bro.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. We were having this discussion right before you came in, because obviously there's an advantage to queuing with a team versus someone who's random queuing, right? Like, but I mean, really, I feel like the simplest thing would be just there has to just be 2 queues, right? That's like the most fair thing to do, because it is it's like not just voice. It's like, well, we also like grouped up a specific comp that we want. We grouped up together in voice. We grouped up players that I know are good and gonna listen and know how to play. Whereas like you are by yourself, no comms, no specific comp, and your players might just grief you or whatever, you know. So it's like a huge. There's kind of a lot of things that are different. So it should be different, queue, but it is. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's so tough because obviously not everyone wants to play by themselves for solo queue. Yeah, I don't know. And I agree. It does seem like I like the Olune's Valley map. Personally, I think it's a cool map for this kind of thing. But yeah, it does feel like, damn, man. Like, when did they first talk about arenas? Like, it was like 5-6 months ago, and then like, well, it's coming at the end of the year, and then I griefed.
There's a
Vincent,
Heidel ball.
Yeah,
Heidel
you really
ball in,
griefed
like,
me there, Frosty. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I got distracted. It was the autopilot fighting. Yeah, during the Heidel ball. So, and then the delay, and I mean, I'm glad they removed the weird 1v1 thing that they were going to add to the end of the 3v3. But, yeah, and they did. They mentioned that they hyped it up a lot. Like, Dalen's not wrong. So, it is a little bit sad that it's like, it feels so
Sorry
bare bones.
to interrupt. Do you guys want to try to test? Like, I'll let my 2 teammates die.
Okay. We'll try our best
Yeah, we
to
can
kill
try
them.
that.
We'll try our best to kill them. I don't know who our third
We're about
is,
to
though.
get 2v3'd.
Wait,
It's the Gili people. Just don't kill the Sorg named Heedun. Just
Yeah,
on the
one-
side.
Part of my feedback is definitely not allowing Sarks to queue up for this. That would for sure be a thing that I want.
Yo,
Understandable.
true.
Dude, there was 2
Okay,
matches
okay.
in a row.
Alright, kill the
where-
DK. Kill the
let's
DK.
test.
yeah, you
Where is
gotta
he?
kill the DK. He's right between us. He's gonna be so
Alright.
tilted. Got this. This is free.
Don't
Oh!
lose
Okay.
this. Oh,
Okay, so-
Gear
no,
check.
DSR
Yeah,
agreed.
this is
Raising him,
297 bracket. So I'm gonna try to do wait, what do we want to do? We have 2 minutes to test this. I think I'm gonna try a judgment. Judgment is 100% crit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna judgment, and then so this is a judgment.
Okay. Did about 1,300 damage to me.
I'll
Before
I'll
my
do it
death.
to
like
me.
2 more times.
Okay.
Then I guess I can add AP. I think it's actually better test rather than removing.
That one did 2,500 damage. That's special attack evasion for you.
Yeah, special evasion is very big. Okay, so
That one also about 2,500.
it's roughly okay. If I feel like if I add the 30 AP right now,
Yeah.
we should see an increase in damage,
Yes, 100%.
right? I would say pretty confidently that should see. So none of you use evasion, right?
Nope.
Okay, so double Tangra, a belt. Okay, so I went from 300 AP, so 297 bracket. This is 322.
Okay. Ooh. That did actually.
Yeah, way more.
For me, it only
Way
did
more.
For me, it only
should
did
not-
500 damage. That actually did the
It
least.
should be a lot more.
Yeah, it's way more for me. I
I'm
went from
doing,
taking
I'm
around.
doing more to you, but the same
So
to
that-
Frosty.
That one did.
I
that-
went from around 1100,
Can you stay closer, Frost?
1200 to taking like 2000.
Yeah, it's doing like maybe a couple hundred HP more. Maybe.
Yeah, a couple hundred is not
That's what you
It's-
should expect, though. If it's doing,
from that much increase.
yeah, but let's say that you are doing 2,500 damage,
Oh,
and
let
now
me
you're
heal, let me
doing
heal.
now you're doing 250 more. That's a 10% increase in damage. Like that's pretty big.
Yeah, but I got the 301, 305 brackets, which are big. And how much more is this? So let
Yeah.
me check the stats actually. So why do I have a bleed on? This is 259. Yeah, 595 AP. Sorry.
7. Yeah, it's doing about 2,400.
And okay, I'm gonna go down again.
Okay.
I have 3 seconds. I
Yeah.
can't. This is weird. I personally expected more increase.
Wait, you won the 1v2.
Oh, I guess I lost. I lost as wait, I won.
You won.
Somehow you
Wait,
won
what?
the 1v2.
Oh, HP because
Yeah.
I think HP.
Way lower
HP
HP.
percentage, I guess.
When me and Choice
Right.
Armin's saying when me and Choice tested, the casts weren't working for AP. Yeah.
We did only do one test though, and special attack evasion could totally have
Yeah.
skewed it,
I mean, I could
so.
take out the special attack evasion crystals and put on a Nuver. And my Nuver doesn't have a Garmoth on it. If you want to remove that variable, Heedun, if you want to try to queue up again.
Sure. Yep.
I just don't know. I don't know if we'll end up on the same team. Let's see. Oh, and my game crashed.
It definitely hurts a bit that this is the result of about 7 to 8 months of delay.
Yeah.
Here are the feedback things that I sort of was writing down as I was doing this.
Okay.
I think there should be an HP pot vendor. So if you
Yes.
forget your HP pots,
Mhm.
there should be an observe mode if you die
Yes.
instead of just sitting on the ground.
Yep.
It should probably display, like, I guess both teams' combined rating would be kind of cool to like see just how strong another team is compared to yours, maybe just as like a quality thing.
I think it would tilt the fuck out of people. You don't
yeah,
want people to give up, right? They are higher elo. GG, I'm AFK.
Well, some of the wait, hold on, but some of the more glaring ones, Choice, like your team and your enemy health bars are the exact same, which actually is really
exactly.
confusing in there.
Yeah, that's one of the ones is like maybe making your teammates' health bars green and making make everything about your team green, everything, and then make everything about the enemy red.
Yeah,
That would be preferable.
Quick update just for you guys. If you go to the secret merchant Castor to the left of the market, he sells infinite pots for 1 silver.
Oh,
No way.
wait, where?
You go to the left of the marketplace, over here, to Gilead Zerker, over here.
Oh,
I like how there's like 5 people running over here.
wait, I didn't know that was a thing. Wait, where is it?
Oh, this is the.
It's the Spirit
Oh
Essence
my
8
God.
box, Frosty, at the top.
Oh, okay.
Top left, top left, top left.
This is the same NPC we had in the Russian siege.
Oh, dude, infinite pot. Let's go.
Did you guys get your titles for the siege?
Yeah.
Are they cool?
No.
Yes, they are. They're really cool.
They don't have effects or anything. They're just like a different color.
It's yellow.
There's an effect that's yellow.
I mean, it's no. The title is yellow. It's not the effect.
Oh.
It's just the different color.
I see. Okay, so other things is like definitely having some type of separate queue for pre-made or something,
Yeah.
whatever solution they come up with for pre-mades.
Yeah.
Definitely more maps. Like that's going to be, there needs to be more maps with different types of
QLP.
obstacles. Like there could be just having like trees and stuff in the way, or having some different platforms, or some other maps that are a lot, like, because you're going to queue up for Olins every single time, and you're going to do that content. Like I played for an hour and a half, or I don't know, maybe 2 hours. I was done. Like do I want to go back into that Arena Solare right now? No. It's not something that's making me excited to be like, hell yeah, dude, I want to queue up for this over and over and over again. Whereas like the Red Battlefield, the RBF, when that came out with the Valencia, that was something that I genuinely have a lot of fun doing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with just the dynamic nature of it. It's like there's a lot of different stuff you can do. There's different corridors, there are different points, and everything changes because of where you go.
I still right now would rather go do Valencia RBF than Arena Solare right now.
So yeah,
Yeah.
for
Ranked
me,
arena
if
only
it-
has purpose when
if
you
it
can
was-
climb up.
Yeah, if it was live without bugs, I would be more inclined to do Arena Solare personally, but I think that ladder climb is really fun and I get addicted to that. So while I do agree that the map might get stale and there should be multiple maps, which is pretty obvious and simple. Most games do it. For me, that elo climb is like kind of addicting, or can be addicting for a lot of people. But I get what you're saying. It wasn't like immediately apparent that it's fun. Also, it's a little bit, I feel like my fun's hampered by, I don't know about you, Choice, but I'm dying instantly. So whether the caps are working or not, this kill speed is way too fast to me.
Well, that's because, yeah, I mean, the kill speed, oh, I agree for sure. I don't know if it's because I'm so used to being gear carried or if I'm just out of touch, but 420 damage reduction and only 536 AP. Like, my DR on my Zerker normally is like 435, and my AP normally is like 650 or something.
Right.
And there's no way that the caps are working as intended.
I run DR on live as well. I have significantly less evasion. Significantly less HP here than I do on live. I'm missing about 1400, 1500 HP, but I have more DR here than on live. Like, even with full C20 DR, since I don't run narcs or anything, I don't hit the DR cap. I'm like right below the cap on live with Hooms and whatever, but right now I'm running RBFs. But even with full C20 DR, I'm below the cap. So, because my class doesn't have any DR passive. So, yeah, I don't know. And to me, I die like, holy shit, so much faster. Like, I feel like I die slower against another person that's also 320 AP than I'm dying here. Yeah. Like, I'm dying really fast here. The other thing on the list, I don't know if you mentioned, like Rezar was mentioning earlier, and he's right. I was being argumentative, but he's right. Like, the more I think about it, there's ghillie suits shouldn't change your name. Mostly because the one thing I didn't think about is you don't see your guild and the family name. Like, it's 3 layers as well. Yeah. That just doesn't exist. So it's weird that ghillie suits are in here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I had that written down.
What were your thoughts on the way V seems to function in here?
I kind of forgot about V a lot of the time, but when I did remember it, it worked. So what's happening with these?
It puts it on cooldown when you first enter the match.
Oh.
So you can't actually really use it until like round 2 or 3. At least for me, it keeps putting it on cooldown. I don't know if it's like resetting the cooldown after a while, but I'm unable to use it until late into the second match or in the third match.
God.
But it's weird because it resets your Black Spirit Rage, so it's weird that it wouldn't reset the V cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, I would be down for letting Vs be a thing in round 1 if Sorks didn't like have Vs. Like, if they didn't allow Sorks to have Vs, that'd be good.
Just the Sorks shouldn't have it?
Yeah, no, just the Sorks. That's a very good point, and I agree wholeheartedly.
All right, we clapped. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it being 1 V per the whole thing. That is actually fine. Like, if once it goes on cooldown, you know, that's it. You have 5 minutes anyway. So it's like, I'm okay with that. I just think it's weird that it's like it starts on cooldown, you maybe get it at the end, maybe you don't.
Yeah.
That version's weird. It's like a weird middle ground that's kind of odd.
You mean the Pearl Abyss special? The middle ground that makes nobody happy?
Would you make the weird choice where it puts you into the starter area after you've already won for a kind of a long period of time, like 30 seconds?
Yeah, I don't know what the purpose of that is. I think there should just be a summary screen in the real game afterwards.
Yeah,
and don't put you back.
Yeah, it should show you the summary screen, immediately start loading you back into the normal world, and that's it. Yeah, and then in the beginning, I don't know if it's because of global labs, like that's what I was saying, the beginning wait is crazy, because I get into a game fast, but then I'm just sitting there with 2 people on my team and no enemy for a long time. Like,
yeah, something that happened to me is Rezlar was actually invisible one time.
Yeah. So that match, the reason you guys were waiting around a really long time that time, huh, Joyce?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, because apparently whenever your teammate DCs, the game just waits for them to reconnect, I guess.
Mhm.
So basically that match just sat there in stasis until I relaunched the game and logged back in and then rejoined. And then the game launched, but for some reason you and Diesel couldn't see me.
Yeah, I think I had somebody rage quit one of my games, or not rage quit, but maybe their game crashed and they didn't load it back up. I was sitting in there for like a good 5 minutes until I just decided, okay, I'm going to go to character select. I didn't lose any like rating or anything, but it does seem sort of, I don't know. I feel like there should be, so the spurred on a conversation of there should be a ready check. Like if you get a match and instead of just throwing you directly into the match, it should be like League where it's like ready, like it puts a big circle and you have to hit yes within 5 seconds to say you're ready. Because if queues get long enough in higher elo, people might go AFK for a second and then not be ready for their match, right?
Yes.
Like it should probably
Yeah.
be, there should definitely be a ready check.
Yeah, when it pops and says, "Hey, we found 6 people. Are you ready?" You click OK, and if you don't hit it in time, it finds someone else to replace you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I forgot. Yeah, it's just literally throwing you in. You just all of a sudden get a load screen.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, HP seems bugged sometimes. Like your teammate's HP is like low, like 30%.
Yeah, I
at the
noticed that
very
a few
start of the
times as
match.
well. Visual bug.
Yeah, and I also think that the history of matches should be significantly longer. Like I can only see my last 5 games. Why can't I
Mhm.
scroll for the next 17 months? Like it's not
Yep.
that much data. I should be able to scroll and see all my matches for all history of all time.
Yeah, it's weird that they did extra work there. Like, they deleted a match. You can only have 5. Once you hit 6, we delete one. Like, what? Why?
Yeah.
uh,
But I will be completely honest with you. The only way that I think that this type of content is going to have significant staying power is there needs to be more maps. And I would even go as far as saying that there also needs to be more types of ranked game modes. Something that I thoroughly was enjoying about Halo is when you queue up for a Halo ranked match, it's either Kingslayer or whatever. I don't know the names of the shit, dude. You either grab the skull and you have to hold on to it. You either have to go on the hard points and be the longest person in there, or it's a team deathmatch, or it's something like the game modes change and the maps change, and it adds different variety. So it's like, okay, you're on the Olin's map, but it could be a 3v3, or it could be like a protect the president type of thing where one player has to not die, or like there could be so many variations. Like even Ellie had like an example of what if they just had a thing where the match lasts 5 minutes and the team that has the most kills at the end, they're the ones that win. Or just like I really expected when this came out that there would be more fun shit to do. Like it wasn't just going to be, oh, it's a 3v3 and it's best of 3 and then you queue up for it again on the same map every single time. Like having different types of objectives in a ranked arena, like a ranked game mode like that, I feel would be much more entertaining for long periods of time.
yeah. Oh, I mean, if it's gonna be super competitive though, which it seems like this is what they're trying to cater to, is the people that have been asking for just rankings. I don't know if having multiple game modes fosters that at all, right? It just makes it kind of convoluted. But I agree, like being able to queue up for different things is cool. Like I think what you're saying about Halo is you get to don't you check off the game modes? Like you select the one you prefer, but so that way you don't wait a long time. It'll put you in something else if the queue's gonna be
Not in ranked mode, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's all just random map, random game style. Like
I
5 maps and 5 game styles, so it's like 25 different permutations or whatever.
Right. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I think they were just trying to do a baseline simple 3v3 because that's what a lot of people have been asking for. I know some people want 1v1 as well, and that could be tied into what you're saying. I think at least for starters, they just need like a bunch of different maps. That would be really nice, and also to like fix all the bugs and stuff. and the damage stuff is so weird. And I'm still like, we haven't even really had a discussion on the caps, like the numbers, but they're so weird. They're such strange caps. Like that
They're
DR.
really, really high.
So here's the thing. It sucks because I was playing Lost Ark the other day, right? And I'm with my group of friends in voice chat. And then Global Labs comes out. And I was like, oh shit, like the arenas are in Global Labs. And I'm reading through, and I didn't have the Black Desert Foundry translations. And in my skimming through, when I read the stats, I thought what it said was that when you queue up and you go into a match, that these are what your stats are going to be. Because I got done reading the whole blue text that said, like, yeah, we want the barrier to entry to be low and blah, blah, blah. So I skimmed through the rest, saw the stats, and I was like, dude, awesome. Like, people are just going to queue up. That's going to be their gear. I know there's an argument for maybe it should be full gear, and then there's a separate argument that it should be equalized gear. What there's never been an argument for is that it should be some random arbitrary cap, right? So, like, they put it in this weird middle ground. This is what I was telling Reslar earlier, where like both sides are unhappy. The people that want gear are unhappy, and the people that want to equalize are unhappy. And the reason why I bring up being in voice with my friends is that day, a lot of them used to play BDO, and they don't anymore. And I was like, dude, it looks like we're going to get equalized arenas. And every one of them was like, dude, I'm going to play that. That sounds so sick. And then the next day, I woke up and I read the Black Desert Foundry translation, and I was like, oh, never mind. It's like gear capped, and you got to kind of be around 630, but then it has a bunch of extra DP. And like literally just a collective from every single one was like, oh, yeah, no, then I'm not going to play. And that sucks, because I think if you have it completely equalized, it's a gateway for people that want to PvP competitively to come in, play the game, and then, I don't know, maybe they decide they want to also do some of the other stuff you could do in BDO. Whereas this is more of like, for the people that already have gear. I don't know, Choice, if you saw Heedun's gear thing that he posted in the partner Discord earlier. He posted in the chat earlier, where like how you can min-max cheese it. Yeah,
I was using that on the Global Lab.
Yeah, it's people aren't going to do that.
Yeah, low barrier
man.
to entry, by the way.
Yeah, and dude, you need so much gear to do that. You can't do that
exactly.
off a trial or like what?
I think the worst thing, like conceptually about this, right, is that this is a ranked PvP arena that is not targeted for people that want to do ranked PvP arenas. It's really weird.
Well, it's not targeted for anybody. That's the problem.
I don't know who it is for, but it's definitely not for people that want ranked PvP.
It's the Pearl Abyss special. It's let's try and compromise so we make everybody upset. They're so good at doing this. It's the Pearl Abyss special. So like it's not a truly fair and equal ranked arena that will make like more hardcore people that want to climb ladder super happy, but it's also not for the casuals like me, because you still have to have gear and I can't play with my friends, and so everybody's just a little upset.
Yeah,
I think
and
that
on
they
top
have
of that,
to give us the gear.
Go ahead, Stars.
I was gonna say they have to give us the gear. There's no way that they can add caps on stuff. Like, there's too much stuff. There's ignore resist, there's resist, there's HP, there's difference in, this class has a higher HP pool than this class, so they can't cap it off at a certain number. Like, there's way too many variables going on here. They should just give us the gear that we need to wear in the arena. Give us the trial gear, make it all so that, the differences of the classes, what they deem to be appropriate, aka Zerker's having a higher H pool than a Tamer, that if we're wearing the same gear, that still shines in that light. Right. But the Tamer can't overstack HP to then reach a Zerker's HP, because that's a problem with tier 1 node wars, is you can never possibly get a fair HP pool by adding a limit. Because if you limit it at 6.5k, then oh wow, Zerker can utilize all its HP pool. But then a Tamer can now cheese the fuck out of it to get up to 6.5k, and now all of a sudden, how is that fair? You already determined that the Tamer was supposed to have a lower HP pool. It just doesn't compute, right? So they
no worries, there's gonna be a Tamer.
Well, yeah. They literally just have to give us the gear that we're supposed to wear. And you know what? I think that I was making an argument for, if they really want to make it where gear progression matters in BDO or in the arena, then make it where it's like there's 5 different brackets of gear. There's 600, 610, 620, 636, or whatever, 650 up to 650, and you show your gear. And if you have 600 gear score, then you get given a set of 600 gear score gear. If you show them 650, you get given a set of 650 gear. That's a convoluted way, or just straight up make one set of gear if it's really going to be that hard, and then just make it pure and fair and capped at whatever that gear that they give us is. And that would be infinitely better than whatever is currently on the global lab.
Okay, yes, I agree. I have to address a couple like major pet peeves of mine that chat is saying, and I want to get Heedun and Choice your opinion on these. So the first one, if you want equalized PvP, just to go play a fighting game. Thoughts on this?
I mean, what game is BDO? Is BDO a PvE game with like no PvE content? Is it a PvP game with no PvP content? Like, what are we playing here?
It's the thing is like,
kind of argument is that
people want to play. BDO has an aspect of PvP that is really awesome, and people want to they want to be able to like fight in that environment with somewhat of a fair and whatever setting. And I don't think that that's unreasonable. A million other games do it. So this whole like, well, you should just go to an arcade and play a fighting game is just, it's stupid. The other thing is they are afraid to reveal how bad the balance is. That's why they won't equalize gear. Do you realize how obvious and bad the balance looks with the convoluted ass gear we currently have? Like that's not even like a legit argument. It's just dumb. Like we see how bad the balance is. You don't need to equalize the gear for us to see that the balance is not perfect.
Have you guys not seen Sork?
It doesn't leave room for excuses because they've never said, hey guys, the reason why you think it's imbalanced is because of the gear. So it doesn't leave room for excuses because they've never given us one. They've said, we know you're upset about the balance, we're working on it, and then they never actually fix it. So there hasn't been an excuse. Like there just hasn't. So, and being afraid of balance is not a good enough reason to not give us fun game modes. It never has been, it never will be.
Yeah.
Lastly, with your gear idea, I like the gear idea choice, and I do think it's important that it's not trial characters, partly because, and again, I noticed this very much in Lost Ark, is you get to customize your own character, right? And your look and your outfit and how everything looks. And with trial gears, with trial characters, that gets taken away completely. And that's a really cool aspect about the arenas and when it zooms in and shows the characters, et cetera, and who you're fighting. Like you want to have your customized like special character that you made, you know?
Yeah. So one of the things about like, I don't know, I originally was making an argument for if they added in where you had to show your current gear to get that equivalent gear. Like, I definitely think the cap should be much lower. I think that somebody that's like 630, 640 gear score, whatever, they should be able to participate 100% with the best possible gear in the arena.
Mhm.
And I don't think that 630 these days is really that hard. But like the thing that gives me a little bit of hesitation to say, okay, this person can download the game, they can get boosted to 61, and then they can immediately enter the arena. I just wonder if they're really experiencing everything BDO has to offer. And so by making them do some modest gear progression to get to like 630 or something, I feel like they would be more, I don't know, just like you could experience the game more before you actually get into the arena. Or I don't know how. I'm worried that people are going to
have
start
fun.
playing BDO. They're going to get into the arena and they're going to be like, well, I don't have any other gear for anything else. I guess this is all the content that I can do. I guess I'm going to quit.
No,
And-
that's just like a copying from playing too much video. Like Lost Ark PvE is amazing, and you want to PvE even with a completely balanced, separated arena. It's just a Stockholm syndrome of playing BDO and thinking like we have to suffer, we have to grind in a circle for 1,000 hours to experience the game. I completely disagree with that. Because there's nothing. What does BDO have to offer? Like, what else does BDO have to offer?
Well,
Node war.
there
If you want
is-
to do node war, you can grind and do node war.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? It's like there is node wars, there is sieges, there is RBFs, there is, you know, battle arena duels, there's open world, like there's other forms of PvP. And if you get thrown into the game and you're only ever given gear in the arena of Solare, then like does that open the door to, you know, now all of a sudden is everything supposed to be capped all of a sudden? Like all PvP is capped just like Lost Ark, and a BDO is nothing but a PvE game where, you know, your progression the thing is like BDO's PvE is not like a dungeon like mechanic type of interesting PvE experience. It is literally there. If you hit a if you have a pen ogre and you hit a pen debo, you gain 5 AP, which does nothing for you in PvE. The difference is 0. So why would you be excited to get upgrades anymore if you can't actually use those upgrades in a meaningful manner in PvP? That's what me personally, that's what I've enjoyed about Black Desert, is feeling that excitement of the enhancement. And I use this example a lot because I think that it speaks volumes. Morlin, he was a longtime BDO player, and he loved the fuck out of tier 1 node wars.
Yeah. Wait, did he cut out? Or is that the end of his thought? Did I cut out?
Cut out.
Okay. It was like a hard period and out. It's like, okay. He loved tier 1 node wars.
Mic dropped.
And...
He just mic dropped and walked away, baby. That's all you need to know.
All right. Well, until he gets back, I want to say, like, okay, so I get what you mean about Lost Ark has this beautiful PvE and BDO, in your opinion, does not. Whereas I like BDO. I like that it's a hack and slash. I grew up playing Diablo. I think BDO and actually Chaos Dungeons are literally the same thing. Chaos Dungeons are some of the most fun I have in Lost Ark. Running around in circles and killing mobs, I actually do enjoy it. Now, so to each his own. That being said, I don't agree with choice that people will come in, play the arena, and then be like, well, there's nothing else for me to do. Because I do think when you're a new player in BDO, I know like you're probably exhausted by it and you've been playing for years, as have I in choice, but for a new player, there's like an overwhelming amount of stuff to do, and gear progression is a big part of that. Like people like just enhancing and getting their upgrades and et cetera, et cetera. So all that stuff is still there. And with that all having been said, like I still think the arena should be completely equalized.
Yeah. It's up to PA to decide who the arena is for. If they want something competitive, then CC Resist needs to go. The gear needs to be somewhat like as you said, equalized, but not in the way where like it's trial, because trial is imbalanced in its own way, because every class functions different with the same gear. But it should have maybe every class should have a different set of gear. Like you have a trial character in a way where you have a different set of gear. Maybe you have some accuracy alternatives, some brawler alternative, Cecil here and there.
Yeah.
But this way, like the arena is for no one, because even let's say they fix the caps and there is some minor rewards for doing it, then you still have a lot of layers of issues on top of it. One is the dire lack of game balancing. PA saying that after rework they're gonna reboots, they were gonna adjust them, and they slapped Musa on the hand after being broken for 1 month.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so okay, the game is balanced now, okay, but then then there's still major issues like CC resists, and just the game being a bit shaky overall with the desync and getting CC'd in protection, but that's not getting fixed, right? But I think at least removing resist and creating meaningful caps would be enough. And I don't think a competitive arena being gear capped would negate progression in BDO.
Mm-hmm.
It might feel that way because at least on EU, Node War and Siege is dead. So there's like no other form of PvP. So that's you don't really have a way to use your gear.
Maybe we have to rephrase.
But that's a different problem altogether. Like
instead of calling it gear, you mean equalized, right? Because the caps you're not okay with. Like the caps are bad. Or
right now it's bad.
But I think even having a good cap, like even if it was lower and it was balanced, it still doesn't really make sense because now everyone's like buffs and debuffs don't work and add-ons are negated and it's like a weird, you know what I mean? Like that part, like, okay, so for example, I've been using Wizard and Witch as an example, but Wizard and Witch have a really cool e-buff that also benefits the party by giving them 20 DP or 15 DP or 15 AP depending on which class you play. And that should be a cool thing about like, hey, I'm a wizard and I bring this to the table and that's cool. Or if I have a Sork in my group, I should be hyped. Like, oh hell yeah, don't forget to press Q instead of just like auto consuming so I get the AP buff. But that doesn't matter if it's capped because that doesn't benefit anybody or yourself or anybody. That's why I don't like the cap. More so like it should be equalized rather than capped, or maybe something like maybe what Choice said with like just a PvP set.
Gear set's definitely the way to make it better, because that way there it doesn't mess with add-ons, it doesn't mess with anything. It's just
You
Glad
cut
you
out.
could, glad you could pick your mic back up.
Yeah, Joyce, you cut out. So you said Morlin liked T1 very much, and then you hard outed. What were you?
Yeah,
say?
my lovely computer blue screened. Amazing. So I was basically saying, I agree that these types of arenas are skill-based match arenas, so sure, equalize all the gear. But I'm also worried that Node War is dead, Siege is dead. There's really not a lot of aspects that make you feel that sense of excitement when you get new pieces of gear because it matters. It doesn't really matter in PvE. PvE in this game is not it's not interesting. It's just doing circles. And so what I was saying about Morlin is Morlin fell out of love with BDO partially due to tier 1 node wars. He said on his stream a lot that in tier 1 node wars your gear is all capped, and therefore he had no motivation to grind. It didn't feel rewarding to get enhancements anymore. He playing the game outside of tier 1 node wars was a nothing feeling to him because he couldn't get excited over his gains because he knew that they didn't matter. And so what I fear is that with the lack of, if we go the route of capping everything for PvP, which it seems like we're kind of going that way, right? We started with tier 1 node wars, now we got capped siege, now we're going to have capped arenas. Are they going to come out with capped RBFs? Like, is gear progression in BDO going to be completely a void feeling for people? Because, the people that enjoyed the aspect of that thrill of getting an upgrade and feeling that upgrade in PvP, like kind of like me, like I enjoy that feeling. That's why I'm motivated to get gears, because I like the way that it feels in PvP. Does that go away? And do we lose the very aspect of BDO that a lot of people enjoy, which is the gear progression upwards so that you can feel stronger and feel like your gear actually matters? So
but it doesn't even apply to this arena because the caps are made in a way where your current gear is useless. Like you wouldn't need to sell what you have to optimize it and make it like min-max it for the arena. Would you do that and be completely useless in every other PvP mode?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that this arena should have the current caps that it does. Like, I think that it should have a one set of gear or a modest level of gear that you have to like reach before you can get the full gear or something. Whatever it may be, if it's a skill-based PvP arena, it's exactly like you guys are saying, is if it's for showcasing skill, then it's just got to be fully capped. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I'm also wondering, how do you transition those people that are unwilling to spend time to get gear into other forms of PvP if it's like a gateway, right? If you get 10,000 new players and they're like, "Oh my god, I love Arena of Solare, but now I can't compete in any other PvP modes because I have no gear." Well, now what? now we're just going to make a whole bunch of caps for everything, and then all the geared game modes and all the effort that people put into their gear, it's not going to matter for PvP anymore. And so, wow, you can get 2,000 extra trash at orcs now. That's all your gear is good for. Like, what's the long-term plan? I'm thinking way farther than just this arena. If you give
Right.
everything everybody wants, then it's going to end up feeling unfulfilling in both PvE, and it's going to feel pretty unfulfilling in PvP as well, because I don't know, it's just
I'm
feel like it
afraid the
would be
long-term
unfulfilling.
plan is DocEV. And ironic. Like, I don't think PA is looking that far ahead for a bit. Like, if we're getting this after, you know, all the delays, it means that there's not too many resources, right, put into video.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up too. Like, they haven't done balance changes, so you would assume they have all hands on deck on this arena that they've been hyping up and delaying and whatnot. And it's not that I expect it to be bugless. Of course, there's going to be a lot of bugs, but I think in the same way that Choice, like the first thing he said, or one of the first things he said, was just kind of shocking at how bare bones it is. And this is supposed to be like all hands on deck project. Like this is the project. It's kind of shocking, right?
It's what people wanted, though. Like, people wanted a basic 3v3 arena, so
Yeah.
boom, there
I
it is.
just think it needs more maps
Well-
and it needs all the bugs fixed. And for that, in a ranking system, and that part is fine. I think some of the issues you guys are bringing up, though, is kind of bigger than what the arenas are supposed to be. It's like I don't know. I mean, they did start capping more and more things, and people. I mean, you know what? I don't know. I guess it's like maybe the catch-up. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know how you do it. How you fix kind of some of the things that you bring up. It's tough.
So I would like to say that yes, this is what people asked for, but this is the bare minimum of what they asked for, right? So again, not to beat a dead horse or anything, but I'm going to point out Lost Ark. Lost Ark also has very bare bones PvP because the devs have straight up come out and said like they didn't really envision PvP in Lost Ark. It's a PvE game first and foremost, and so the PvP is just some shit that they've kind of had on the side that they've been trying to add to lately. But even in Lost Ark, a game where the devs have said, "Yeah, we don't really give a shit about PvP, but we're gonna start trying to add some stuff because you guys want it," they have different maps that like look different and have a different feel, and there's like player showcases and like you can see like your level and stuff, and like it's all very well done. And so I don't know. It's not that we needed to fight as otters in the third round. Like we didn't need anything fancy. It can be bare bones as long as it's like done well. I think the problem is that it's bare bones and it's not done super well for how long it's taken to come out, for the delays, for the lack of other content and balance changes, for the hype. I don't know. It's just yeah, like Dalen says, no polish, and it's almost shocking, honestly.
Well, yeah, no polish seems so obvious to me just because of multiple delays and then the rule changes, and I don't know. Part of me wonders what the hell it was even supposed to look like before. I don't know. In terms of the ranked arenas, honestly, at the end of the day, I think a majority of maybe I'm wrong on this, but I think a majority of people, specifically talking about the ranked arena portion of the game, just want to go in, all have the same chance, all have the same gear, and rank up in between their grind sessions or as a break between grinding or node wars or whatever. Something a little bit different. Other MMOs do it, and I know Choice, you said, well, it's different because in Lost Ark you have this more elaborate PvE that feels like it matters, and the PvP is all equalized. But the truth of it is like a lot of that PvE becomes mundane, just the same as going in circles. I mean, I don't know, Heedun, what your gear score is, but right now, like outside of completionist stuff, there isn't a whole lot to do outside of the arenas. Once you hit 1340, you're just kind of sitting there waiting for, hopefully they drop new content, make it easier to enhance, because I don't have anything to do. I do my dailies and then I'm done. And it feels just as repetitive. It was fun the first time through each of the places, but now it's like, I don't know. What am I doing? That being
To be
said,
fair, we don't have the actual end game yet.
no,
We don't have,
we don't.
Legion raids.
But I mean, after like if you complete Legion raid, I mean maybe the Legion raids will feel like they have infinite replayability over and over and over again. I don't know. I'm not there yet. All I have is what they gave me, and right now that's all that they gave us, and I don't know what else is coming. But on top of that, there is geared PvP in that game on certain islands, and they're adding more and more of it. There's a lot more of it in KR. They just added a new island in KR that is full geared PvP. So it's not totally separate from BDO in that sense either. It's just that the ranked arenas are equalized because they have a ladder system in MMR, and like having gear be associated with that doesn't make like that much sense to me anyway. And other stuff too, like Heedun's been pointing out, resist. I mean, at the end of the day, if I lose a match because of resist mid combo, or if I win a match because of resist, it's satisfaction just gets sucked out like hard. There's no way I'm going to be excited about. Well, he resisted the re-CC.
What about the times you win the match because you resisted?
Yeah, but like, do you really?
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. Like that sucks. I don't like. I hate that. Like if I get caught. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, you want the MMR, right? If you're just laddering hard and all you care about is your rank, then, you know, that, sure. Then cool. I got my rank. But at the end of the day, like the satisfaction of winning PvP it definitely is lessened by, well, the game made that decision right there randomly in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So long-term wise, like I talked about, you know, how BDO basically goes with their PvP long-term. I think that Arena Solare, it's fine that they cap everything, but I really feel that we desperately need, kind of like I don't know, Heedun, if you saw, I didn't really share it anywhere, or maybe I did, whatever. It's the reward structure for RBFs, right? I shared with Frosty, like whenever you did the value pack last.
Yeah. Very good.
I think that there needs to be a lot more of that in a lot more forms of PvP, so that players that are starting off brand new in the game, they can actually start PvPing from the get-go and start earning money, and then naturally over time, as they play the game for hours because they really love the PvP, they all of a sudden are like, holy shit, I'm geared all of a sudden. Now I can start doing all these other activities. So yeah, Arena of Solare, big miss when it comes to how they're capping everything. It's fine that it's capped, and it should be equalized because it's supposed to be a skill-based thing. And because it's equalized, that means that it can never have the potential of being a profitable activity in any significant capacity, because if you make it too profitable, it's really OP for all the new players and really shit for all the geared players, and it has to scale based upon gear and performance, because that's how PvE scales. So I don't know. I think that it's a two-part process to sort of revive the PvP scene. Is hell yeah, dude. Put in the Arena Solare, have the 3v3, definitely needs more maps. It needs one set of gear, but then future PvP stuff, I would really love to see more RBF type game modes where it's like, you know, capture the hard points, it's capture the flag, it's all this other stuff with scaling rewards based on your performance, and not having it gear capped, because there needs to be a way for you to make money, and there needs to be a way for high geared players to make decently relevant money compared to if they just went and grinded. And similarly, there needs to be reward structures where it's not overly rewarding, as like new players just go in and they just queue up and get shit on and they get paid 300 mil an hour and they never do anything else in the game. So that's my ideal future for BDO.
Yeah. I want to ask you this. There was a point, because you're saying like the gear upgrades don't matter in PvE, and maybe that's part of the crux of the problem. I know, like, I've had this conversation with Dayland, voice that kind of stuck with me, that still sticks with me to this day, is that you kind of get to a certain gear level and then you go to orcs and the rest of your gear doesn't really matter. And that part kind of sucks. But there was definitely a time where, I mean, I remember when I was gearing up, when I was new to the game, trying to get to 130 AP so I could go to pirates. And then I was like, dude, I can't wait to get to like 150 so I could go to Gahaz. And then it was like, man, Hystria and Akhman are just like out of the question. And then you hit like 205 AP. I'm like, dude, I get to go to Pilaku now. And this is cool. And like, it feels like that doesn't exist anymore. It's like everywhere the gear recommendations are like such a soft, light recommendation. You don't really need DP for most places. You don't really need that much AP. And maybe if that felt different, then the gear progression for the PvE side specifically would feel a lot better. Because right now it kind of doesn't. Like, at the end of the day, I guess higher gear feels great at Gyfin, the new Gyfin spot, and Olun Valley. But outside of that, it's just Orcs, Secrea, and Star's End, and you need way less gear for those, and Orcs is the best of all of it, arguably. So I guess my question to you is, do they need to make like gear recs higher for some of these PvE spots that are supposed to be high-end? Or for Heedun, I think maybe choice disconnected.
I'm just
no, I'm
overall
here.
so done with the PvE in NVIDIA. Yeah, I can't anymore. Like after 6 years of grinding in circles, it's just gets old. I'm getting old for that.
Were you gonna say something, choice?
No, I was just gonna say that like I definitely agree in a sense, but maybe you could potentially be forgetting that it wasn't really that dynamic. Like the way that it was is you would kind of start and you would go to like Catfish and then you would go to Sawsons, and then from Sawsons you could really stay at Sawsons until you go to Pirates, and then Pirates was basically the best shit out. So I don't know. There's always kind of been that meta grind spot, whether it was Pirates, whether it was History at the time, whether it was Kratuga or Underwater. Like it basically, the evolution of it went Sawsons or Gahaz because you were low gear. Then you go to Pirates. Then you get enough gear and you go to Hystria. And then it was Sakraya. And then it was...
I think that's exactly his point, right?
Yeah, but exactly. You're saying exactly what I said, though. That's what was cool about it.
His point is that there was progression.
Yeah.
Like right now, there's no progression in grind spots. You just grind orcs.
But there's a lot more variability too, right? Like Abandoned Monastery is relevant.
Sure.
Gyfins is relevant.
Yeah.
Olins is
I'm not sure why we are talking about PvE now, but...
Yeah, well, I was just addressing it in terms of like gear progression. That's why we kind of went down that route. But yes, those places are all relevant. That's true. There's more options. But the thing is, like, once you hit one single gear level, you just go to all of those places forever, and it feels like there's nowhere up. Whereas, like, in your examples, yeah, Pirates was the best spot for a while, but we were all... So I started playing after Valencia was already out. But Valencia was still super aspirational. There were, like, some random sorks that were bugging it with the discs, and that was it at Hystria. And everyone else was at Pirates. And then once you had enough AP and you were efficient enough, Gahaz kind of slightly took over, but we didn't have the gear for Akhman or Hystria, but that was always in the back of my mind that maybe eventually I'll get there.
Yeah, but Choice also has a point where if you were always at the top of the gear curve, then you also just had the meta spot, and that was pretty much it, and a few alternatives. So yes, maybe like depending on when you started the game, maybe there was like a slower progression throughout the various tiers of of grinding. While now it's like a lot faster. You skip 3/4 of the grind spots, but it was the same. Like if you were like let's say the first month of the game, you were maybe not full plus 15, but almost, and then they released the Pride gear, and you could right away grind the Valencia Part 1, etc., etc. So it was kind of the same. But like in terms of progression, I feel like if the arena is anything less than like 500-600 million an hour, I would personally think it's too low. If like they want to give progression for it,
Right, but the arena can't be that much money because it's gear capped.
but that's very low money, isn't it? Like,
Not really.
what's an argument for the arena not giving 500 million an hour?
The argument is a brand new player can only make like 150 mil an hour. So now, if they want to progress,
brand new
fast,
player
they are,
can't make
they are
a-
forced.
But
to
they
do
can't
arena.
go. No, because well, if we have the current caps, a new player cannot play this.
Yeah, but we all agree that the current caps are bullshit. So
But can't
Yes, but there's a lot of layers to this, right?
question though? Can't this just be solved by adding a level requirement, like saying you can't queue for Arena Solare unless you're like level 61 or 62 or something?
not really, because you could get boosted to 61 in like 2 hours.
Well, the other thing too is like with Choice's spreadsheet, I don't know, like that wasn't so bad. Where if you're winning a lot, you make more, and if you're losing a lot, you make less. So the average comes out to like maybe it's less than grinding, but you don't feel like it's a waste of your time because you enjoy PvP and that's what you prefer to do, which has always kind of been the side I've been on. Like I kind of wish that's how it is. I think that's what Reslar has been saying for a long time too, and a lot of players. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like maybe it should be 600 mil an hour, and you can make an argument that it should. But I think a lot of people are just like, dude, I just don't want it to be 20 mil an hour. I'm sick of it being 20 mil an hour.
You guys were around during Shadow Arena, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Shadow Arena was really good money, and it was really fun, and you could play with your friends, and it was amazing.
Well, Shadow Arena is kind of, to Choice's point, though, the reason why maybe it can't be 600 mil an hour, right? Because it was just abused and hacked and botted and kind of got weird.
I don't think
that's a bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse. We know it.
Yeah, like if you're worried about right now, everything can be hacked and botted and whatever. Like you can just go bot anywhere and make 5 billion an hour, right? Like, why are people not doing it? Anyway, the thing is that if you don't have scaling, the argument that I make is that Arena of Solare could absolutely be 600 mil an hour. And I don't think that would be overpowered for a high-end player, a high-geared player. But it would be ridiculously overpowered and completely null and void every grind spot for a new player that ever existed ever. Because they would just be able to go directly and make 600 mil an hour, and then once they eventually are geared enough because they're making 600 mil an hour, then they can go grind orcs. Like at that point you skip everything completely and you just fast forward all the way to orcs.
How about before sorry to interrupt you, like how about you depending on your gear score, you unlock tiers of reward. Like you are low gear score, you make X 100 million an hour. You are this, you make that one, and it goes up and up and up.
I think that is an absolutely fabulous way, Heedun. Let me tell you. Here's stay with me here, okay?
No.
What if they did it where the PvP is capped in the arena, but you show your gear score and it gives you relative level of rewards based on what your gear score is. So if you show that, hey, I'm a 700 gear score player, the arena's like, you as a 700 gear score player, you're going to make 600 mil an hour in this arena. But somebody else walks up with full seasonal gear and they show it and they're like, you will be making 200 mil an hour or 150 or whatever they do. Like if they did something like that is the crux of everything that I'm saying. You can't just give a flat amount of money to every player because that does not compute, right? You have to, there has to be a scaling amount of money that is given based upon what your gear is, because that is how PvE currently works. The more gear you have, the more money you make. And everyone always says, oh, it's the rich get richer and all this other stuff. But quite frankly, that's how it already is. The rich are getting richer. The people that have high gear score are grinding at the better spots. The people that are out sulfur mines are not making as much money because they have played the game for a month. It should be that way. And you're not taking away from the fun of the activity by having everyone with capped gear, but you're also making it relatively, in a relative sense, profitable and reasonable for players based on their gear. I think that would be a fabulous solution.
I think if you want dynamic rewards, it's much better to do it off of in-game performance rather than gear. I think that's total bullshit that me and some 720 gear score player can be on the same team, which means we get the same results, win or lose. I got like 4 kills, dealt twice the amount of damage, and I get less money just because I have less gear score. That is so bullshit. That
Do you
is so
think
fucking
bullshit?
bullshit.
I think
Reslar,
choice argument is good. Like,
Okay, do you think it's bullshit that you're doing the same orcs rotation as me, but I'm making way more than you? Because that's
I don't
currently
get-
what's happening.
I don't give a shit about that because I don't PvE, choice. I PvP. That's all I want to do. And I just want to be rewarded for being a decent PvPer.
but you do get rewarded. It like what Choice is saying is that you get progression outside of the arena based on your current. Honestly, Lost Ark does the same thing. Like when we're gonna get the PvP rewards on Lost Ark, if you're tier 1, you're gonna get mats for tier 1 for progressing your character. Like it's the exact same thing.
Here's the other thing you got to consider, Reslar. You might be 650 gear. What's your gear score?
Like 620, man.
Okay, you might be 620 gear score, but if you're now all of a sudden making 350 mil an hour, you're going to be 650 real soon, and you're going to be making more money because your gear score is higher. Also, you have to consider that there needs to be a real reason to win and a real less reward for losing. And
Yes.
so your skill is still affecting how much you make. If you're 620 gear score and you're absolutely smacking all the kindergartners, then all of a sudden you can look at someone else that sucks at PvP and they're 620 and they feed. They're going to make way less money than you because you're actually carrying your team and you're making more money based on your wins. So in the pool of 620 gear score players, you are going to be rewarded for your performances compared to somebody else that sucks. But it's just that you are not going to be making as much as a 700 gear score player because you're currently not making as much as a 700 gear score player in anything that you do because you have less AP, you have less gear, you make less money because you have less gear. But that's not forever. If you love PvP, you're going to take that 350 mil and make it 500 mil in a month because you're going to play 200 hours, right?
Why does all income have to be tied to gear score?
Because
I'll try to explain.
I want to try one more time to explain
go for
why,
it, go for
because
it.
I feel like I have explained this a million times.
You did.
If it's not tied to gear score, it's either shit for the high geared players or too overpowered for the low gear players, or both at the same time. If you make something 400 mil flat an hour, then it's going to be not worth doing if you're a high geared player. If you are making 400 mil an hour and you are a seasonal player, then it's just too overpowered. It has to scale with the gear because the entire economy of BDO currently scales with gear.
No,
You
I
either have
understand
more
that.
life skilling gear or you got more PvE gear. Either way, you're making more the more you got.
But I'm still not understanding why it can't be tied to performance. I'm sorry if I'm just missing the point here, but like I am confused as to why has to be
I'll try.
tied to gear score and not
I'll
to
try.
performance.
I'll try. So you want someone who plays really, really well to earn the same amount of someone who is a lot higher gear score but performs worse, I guess, or just the same. So let's say you play, you're 620, right? And you're in a team with someone who's Harkup, and you do slightly better than him, and you both win. You think you should be earning as much money as he does?
If I'm doing better than him,
Say yes or
then
no.
Yeah. If I'm doing better than him, yes.
Okay, that way, either the rewards are going to be too bad for endgame, or they're going to be so good for early game that it completely invalidates every other content that there is in the game.
Why?
Okay,
Why?
wait, hold on, Rez,
Why
Rez.
not?
But the thing that doesn't make sense, Rez, that you're like avoiding here is what do you need the silver for if your gear doesn't matter? Why do you care about the reward if you have no intention of progressing your gear? Your gear doesn't matter. Explain
Well,
that part to me. What is the point of getting more money than everyone else if your gear absolutely doesn't matter and shouldn't matter? Why do you want the silver? In their examples, they're explaining to you.
I never said gear and silver doesn't matter.
But you're saying, but they're giving you a reason why. So if you want more money, you would have more gear score, and Choice is saying like there's like a middle ground where your performance still does impact how much you make. But he's saying like if you could use the gear as a way to keep the game kind of this structure intact where you progressively make more. If you're a new player, if you're a brand new player and you hop into the game and you finish Tuvala or whatever, and then you start laddering and you're making, I don't know, 250 mil an hour, the same thing you'd make at Sulfur Mine, why is that a bad thing? Maybe that's a better way to go about this. Maybe like ask, why is it a bad thing if the money you would make with your gear at a grind spot is the exact money you can make in Battle Arena? Why would that be a bad thing? Does anyone?
So I'm ape brain. I'm trying to process everything.
Okay.
Here. I just feel like if you just make it performance based, right?
Mhm.
People with more gear are naturally going to perform better because they just have the ability to do more damage, right?
No.
Not
'cause
if
it'll
the
be
gear is
capped.
capped.
True,
Right.
actually. Good point.
Yeah.
But the gear caps are pretty high, right? We've already established that it's
We're
at this
talking
point
in a hypothetical scenario where there are real
Yeah.
caps.
This whole thing is based on the premise that it's equalized gear and not these arbitrary caps that we got.
Okay, so it's not caps, it's equalized gear.
Yeah, totally equalized fair gear, whether that be through a gear set or just stat adjustment or whatever they need to do it.
Then I think if it's equalized gear, I think a compromise is fine. As I want to avoid a scenario where if I perform better with less gear score, I get less money than my teammate. If it's a compromise where we take both things into account, then fine, I understand it in an equalized scenario. I get it.
Yeah.
I just think it's unfair if we were to only take into account gear score. That's all.
I can actually agree with that because if you think about my RBF sheet, you could get number 1 with 650 gear score, and you would make more than a 700 gear score player in that scenario. So the performance in that particular sheet, and sorry if like everybody doesn't know what the sheet is, but I don't know if you want to pull it up or not, Frosty, but I basically came up with a list or like a bracket, or in a sense, where it showed the different tiers of how much money you should make based on your performance in an RBF. And it was under the assumption that because RBF is not gear capped, higher geared players are generally going to perform better. Therefore, they're going to earn more because they get a higher positioning in the top 30. I don't know how that would exactly, like, performance is so,
Do you have the document?
like, how much of it can,
If you could link it.
I can link it.
Yeah, please.
How much could it really vary though in the confines of a 3v3? Like there's so few stats because it's like a 3-minute fight. Like I don't know how.
But they're already tracking quite a few stats, right? I mean, we have damage for the first time in BDO's history as a stat that's being tracked, right? And you weren't here for this earlier, but I mentioned that I would honestly love to see a CC track stat, like so you could see how many CCs you got, because I think that's a really important stat that maybe you're not doing a lot of damage because you're not that type of player to try and like combo people, but you're getting a lot of CCs or something. I think there's a lot of stats that could be tracked that are meaningful, that wouldn't be, I don't know, impossible at the least. I don't know.
I guess that you could do that, but you would, in order for it to be balanced, where you don't have a brand new player, like, okay, imagine that in order for it to be balanced where a brand new player isn't completely circumventing all other options of how to make money in the game because they're so good at the game that they're able to earn 600 mil an hour when they have 0 gear score, like that doesn't seem balanced in any sort of way to me, even if they are good. Eventually, like I agree that your performance can play a role in how much that you earn, but if you get first place on your 3v3 team because you did the most damage and got the most CCs or whatever your metric is of how good you did, you could get bonus money for that. But I think the overall structure of an MMO is that the more time and progress that you have, the more you are going to earn just naturally, because also your upgrades are also more expensive. So I could see something where it's like, sure, as a 620 gear score player at a baseline, you're going to make less than a 700 gear score player, but that gap can be closed based on you performing way better in capped PvP. Like I could see a method of that, but you would
that's what
never
I was
make as
saying is
much as
like
a
a fair
700 gear score
compromise.
player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I was saying is I could see as a fair compromise. The thing that I'm the only thing that I'm pushing back against is the idea that I lock in at 620 gear score, Frosty locks in at 720 gear score. Regardless of the result, if we're on the same team, he just makes more money than I do because he has more gear, because he participated in content that I don't enjoy. That's what I want to avoid, because that's kind of fucking bullshit to me.
but here's in
You
the
will get there.
but in the hypothetical scenario where we have equalized gear and we're getting paid for PvP, you also can get your gear up there by doing the content you do enjoy.
Yeah. Eventually you'd be 700 gear score.
Yeah,
you'd be making just as much as the other 700 gear score people.
Exactly. You wouldn't have to do the content you don't enjoy.
Yeah, true. Eventually. Unfortunately, you guys have had 6 years to do the content you've enjoyed, right?
Well,
if you think that I have
Right.
enjoyed PvE for the last 6 years, I have painstakingly grinded my ass off to get my gear because
I guess I'm just
wanted
talking
the
to Frosty.
PvP.
yeah, but again, you were this like I all right, here's the thing.
No, I understand what you're saying, though. I do understand what you're saying.
Obviously, should arenas have been
progress.
added in the beginning of the game with this system? Sure. Yes, I've been asking for it for 3 years.
Yes.
Yes, but that's not. I wish it was, but it wasn't. You know, and I've been asking for it for a long time. And I've been asking for us to get rewards for a long time. So yes, people have a head start when they start an MMO. 4 years after other people have been playing, they have to catch up, and that part is unfortunate. But whether you PvP or PvE, I do think it's fair that they do have to catch up in some way, and there's catch-up mechanics added to the game all the time with Tuvala. So maybe like if 2 years ago with Tuvala not being in the game, based on what the way Choice and Heedun are kind of describing this system, you would hop in and you'd make no money PvPing, and you'd have no way to catch up because you'd have to go grind out boss gear like everyone else had to, and that would have been awful. But now you get Tuvala right away, and you can already just go hop in PvP and start making a couple 100 mil an hour, and then you start upgrading your gear more and more, and then you make whatever, or buying your gear. You don't even have to upgrade. If you're just making raw silver, you don't ever have to even upgrade. You can just buy it.
No,
So,
I understand, and
yeah.
that's why I conceded. I think that a compromise option where perhaps, like Choice mentioned, you have some baseline level, and then perhaps based on performance you can gain bonus silver. I think
Right.
that's a fine compromise to make.
Yeah. And here, well,
Because
here's
I'd also
another
like
thing.
to point out. I'd also like
Yeah.
to point out that gear score doesn't automatically equate to more money in PVE. There's also a lot of other things to
Yes,
do in
performance.
PvE
So that should be
determine
a
how
factor.
much silver you get.
It should
Yeah.
definitely be a factor, but here's another thing too, and to Nihilus's point too, because Nihilus is making a similar argument to you. His is coming from a little bit slightly different place, but here's the other thing: your performance also could be rewarded by A, where you end up in the ladder, and B, hopefully they have like a end of season. Look, you did super well. Here's extra rewards that are like cosmetic and costumes or whatever the hell. Like there could be other stuff as well. Doesn't necessarily have to be limited to. Like you, I don't think Choice in this hypothetical system, would you get rewarded a costume for having high gear score, or would your rank on ladder be more important for something like that? You know?
Yeah, your rank would probably matter more.
Yeah.
I want to respond to Lake Cora though. What you're saying in chat is why can't geared and non-geared players get paid the same based on performance? Well, we've danced around this a lot, but basically the idea is that if you have everyone getting, if you are doing it based upon performance, it is going to be the single best moneymaker for a low geared player because they have no gear to grind anywhere else. And it is going to be poor money for a high end player because they could guarantee get 800 mil an hour by grinding. They're already taking a 200 mil pay cut to be there. And now they're going to be taking an even bigger pay cut if it's not, if it somehow is like not scaling upon their gear and it's just based purely on performance. So the idea here is to make it not super overpowered for new end players and make it equivalent to grinding, while also not making it super underpowered for end game players so that they don't bother participating if they want to make the most amount of silver that they can. So it kind of has to scale to make all players happy. There's going to be one player that's unhappy and another type of player that is really happy if you give it a baseline amount and it's not scaling based on gear.
Guys, I'm gonna call it. It's 6 a.m.
All right, yeah, I know
Starting
you've been
to-
here a long time. No,
I'm
no
starting
worries.
to
man.
kind of lose
No,
consciousness.
thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
man. Really
thanks for
appreciate it.
stopping by, man.
It's been
Really
a pleasure.
appreciate it.
Heedun.
Yeah,
Hopefully we get a hot fix to the caps like before next patch, because I really want to try this arena in
yeah,
the way PA wants us to play it.
right.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Have a good
Hey, he
time
plug
of-
your stuff real quick.
I'm a Elden Ring streamer. If you
Hell
want to check
yeah.
out my stream,
Oh no.
What's your eye level in
gonna go-
Lost Ark?
I have 1343.
How many tier 3 characters?
One. I
Ah.
got farmed on my
You're a noob.
first announcement.
You're a goddamn noob.
I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night.
Later, man.
Later, bro. Thank you.
Yep.
No, I think a compromise is the best way to do it. I still, in my heart of hearts, I still think that I still want to push back against it, but I understand where you guys are coming from, and in the scope of an MMO, I understand the necessity for it. But I think compromise is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, there's definitely got to
I mean-
be a middle ground.
From a PvPer's perspective, I hate to keep talking over everybody and like dominating the conversation.
No, share your thoughts,
but-
man. That's why you're here.
If they did make it where it was just a flat 500 mil an hour,
Mhm.
getting up to the gear to make 500 mil an hour is not really that hard. Like you get 281 AP and you go to orcs with some decent DP and you're gaming. So
Yeah.
even if they did that, the only real negative here would be that you would just skip the entire beginning part of the game. Like the meta would be if a new player joined the game and they're like, hey, what should I do for money? It's like you are confined to the arena of Solare in a very dominating way that if you were to go and do anything else in this game until you reach a certain gear score, you're just wasting your time because you can make so much more in the arena that you may as well just do that. All right. And that would be the only real downside, is that the entire early part of the game would be, if you wanted to be efficient and get the gear, you would basically have to participate in that content because it is so much better than anything else that they could be doing.
So,
But then eventually it would reach a leveling playing field. Like once they get the gear for orcs, then it's like, okay, you can PvP, you can do orcs, make the same. All cool. So it just sort of accelerate the beginning part.
wait, hold on. I want to ask Nihilus. So Nihilus, I want to address some of the things that you're saying. So Nihilus is saying that you're operating under the assumption that new players are coming into the game and just dominating everyone, which he's saying is not true and wouldn't happen. Now, it would happen to an extent. Some players are just bad, and new players, if they're coming in for competitive PvP, probably on average would be better. But the thing is the thing I don't understand is if your argument is I don't want a PvE, I don't want to grind, I don't want my gear for anything, I just want equalized PvP and nothing else, then what do you want more silver than the people that do want that stuff? Like, why do you want more silver than them? I don't understand that part. Like, if you're totally okay with not gearing up, then why do you want to make 900 mil an hour just out of the gate versus a veteran player?
Because we have to gear up for PvP.
But why is gearing up for PvP? Well, no, it's equalized PvP. So what do you mean you have to gear up for PvP?
No, if you want to participate in Node Wars and Siege and things of this nature, if you want to go where the fights are, you have to gear up to be competitive.
So why do you think your gearing up process should be significantly faster than someone who chooses not to gear up for Node Wars in PvP, but rather PvE?
It shouldn't be significantly faster.
Well, but that's what you're asking for. Well, but if it's Nihilus, this is what Nihilus is specifically asking for. Nihilus, I got to create another group chat and call separately. So, but the thing is like, I don't understand why it's an issue. If I'm a player that just cares about PvP and it's like, well, I want to get to Node Wars eventually, I can do it through arenas. I don't have any issue with, at the start, I make the same money as everyone else at the start, and I grow the same as everyone else, no matter whether I PvP or PvE. Like, that's literally all the system is that Choice is talking about, is where regardless of how you get there, whether it's PvP, PvE, or not, you progress, and over time, as you upgrade your equipment or your gear or whatever it is, your income goes up. It's kind of the same thing. And obviously, he also threw in there's an element of performance. So if someone is a little bit higher gear score than you and you're lower, but you played way better, then you get an additional reward. But it's not just right off the bat the best money in the game. That's all it is. It's literally just protecting from that.
It's sort of the best way that I can possibly explain it is the current structure of BDO is you start the game and you go and you life skill and you get Logia and you go butcher some wolves and whatever the hell you do with your life skill shit, and then you make less money than the other guy that's already been getting Tet Manos stuff, and you're doing the same activity, but they're making more because they are more established in the game and they put in more time and effort to get all of those all of those equipments that will allow them to make more. Same thing with PvE. You start off as a little noob, killing some grass beetles and wolves, and eventually you work up to someone that's making a ton of money at orcs. The same thing has to exist in PvP. You can't just say that, you start off in PvP and you can start making 600 mil an hour if you're just a one trick good. Like, you could go to a suck Zerker and you could probably be making like way more money than anything else you could do in the game, because it's an easy to play class and it's going to fucking dominate in the arena. Like, that is not fair to the rest of other forms of progression in the game. Right now, PvP has no possible progression, and you guys are giving so much pushback when we're trying to make it equal and relative to what is currently available for PvE and life skilling. You guys are fucking delusional. I don't know how you guys think that a structured PvP mode where the more gear that you get or the more time that you have spent PvPing allows you to earn more money over time, just like everything else in the game, is somehow a problem. I don't know how that is to you guys.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused by that too. And like Cora saying, imagine wanting more gear after multiple C20 sets and still not wanting new players to be able to make the same amount of silver. Why? In what? I'm trying to think, like, in Lost Ark, you don't make the same amount of silver as a new player. You don't make the same amount of silver at all in Lost Ark as a new player. Do you make the same amount of gold and income in World of Warcraft as a new player? Like, right off the bat? Do you make the same amount of rewards? I've never, in Terra, I didn't. In Blade and Soul, I didn't. In Ion, I didn't. In BDO, I don't. In Lost Ark, I don't. I'm trying to figure out, in what MMO does the person starting off make the exact same as the person that's been playing for a while? I've never heard of a game like that. You don't in Grand Theft Auto, which has like MMO aspects to it. It's not like that in Red Dead Redemption. Like, none of those games are like that. It's actually like, so I don't know why it's like so absolutely absurd in BDO that the people that have been playing longer, committed more time, have gotten to a point where they're making more money, and then newer players, they eventually get to that point as well. I've never fully understood that. I think that is a interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, there at the end of the day, it has to be progression. So, and that's why I changed and said that I think compromise would be the best
Yeah.
way to go about it, because there has to be some form of progression. And that's the whole argument that Choice is making, is that in MMO, that your money making has to have some form of progression to it, whether that's life skilling PvE or PvP. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't reward people for doing well, just like people who try hard their asses off at orcs can make a bunch more money than somebody that's just doing the bare minimum, right? We can give bonus money based on performance, but there does need to be progression.
Yeah.
I think compromising is the best way to do it.
And Kerr, I agree with your point, saying you like how Shadow Arena provided materials rather than silver, which is when Choice first presented this to us. That was my big thing about this, because I love this system in theory. I just think injecting just pure raw silver rather than some of these materials that have been good and valuable for a long time, I feel like that might be better. It's just hard to balance on which ways, like what specifically you would do, right? Because it's like dust and cronstones are kind of the only everlasting material. All right, so here's Nihilus's response. He says, at the end of the day, BDO is a progression game. Everyone wants to progress. They want to do it in an avenue that they enjoy. An arena based off skill with a silver reward should be rewarded by skill. A new player will not reach top ranks and not earn 700 gear score player money. Players have spent countless hours in BA practicing, doing AoA, entering tourney to get better. Why should we throw that time spent out the window simply because it hasn't been rewarded in the past? I want to progress doing PvP. It doesn't need to be the same as high-end grinding, but it should be close enough so that people look at it and get excited to push high ranks, and a player like Choice wouldn't be punished too hard by climbing either. So I don't think anything is wrong with that in theory, and that literally is what Choice's system fosters.
I know what's wrong with that.
What?
What's wrong with that is I could start playing Alon and I could be a fucking force in like 20 hours, compared to 20 hours of PvEing would get you nowhere. 20 hours of learning how to PvP on a class would get you pretty damn far if you're on an OP class. If you choose to play an OP class, you're going to go in this gear capped arena, and after 20 hours of effort, you're going to be playing at a competent enough level where you can now make way more money than anything you could have otherwise done life skilling wise or grinding wise. It simply wouldn't be, it couldn't possibly be fair, because the time and effort it takes for you to master PvP. Holy shit, dude. Do you think that the 1,000 hours you spent in the battle arena were any different than the first 100? Like, what did you learn? One new flex combo? It's not like that in PvP. BDO PvP is not like you're a fucking god where all of a sudden every hour that you have spent in addition to me, you just become infinitely better. It's not how it works. BDO PvP is completely, like, it's not even close to balanced, and a lot of the time it's all due to desync. So if you think that there can truly be a way to give performance-based rewards that would actually be fair and in any way scaled just like the rest of the game, it's impossible.
Yeah, I think Nihilus's point, if I were to TLDR it, is that everyone should be, like, they don't mind, he doesn't mind if it's less overall money, but it should be the same for everyone that's participating in the activity. Which I get, but I think the difference, Nihilus, in what Choice is saying is that if you do PvP for money, you could progress and get more money PvPing by enhancing your gear, having some sort of level of progress. And he also still, again, said that your skill would benefit more from not being skillful. So it's like that part is still also included. It's not like he's ignoring it entirely.
Yeah, I think there was also, I mean, I'm with Nihilus for the most part, but there is also an aspect of, as long as things are 3v3s, if, like, you can be, like, carried as a new player, right, as well. And even if things are based slightly on performance, if everyone is making the same amount of money, like, at, like, a high baseline, right? I don't know.
Well,
it'd
Nihilus,
be
you also play
hard to do.
Kuno, right? Like, do you really think that you need 1,000 hours on a Suck Kuno to be able to dance around Choice? Be honest, because I don't right now, and that's kind of his point. And yes, balance is a separate issue, but balance is a part of the game, and it's not being addressed. So, if let me ask you this because here's what actually would happen. Same thing with grinding, where everyone ends up on a lawn, a striker, or a zerker right now. In your ranked arenas, where at first it starts off as just fun, what happens 4 weeks in where everyone on every team is a suck kuno because that's how you make the most money? Well, pre-rework, you were still a suck kuno. Like, suck kuno's always been one of the best, if not the best, at 1v1. So of course you're dancing around high geared players. Like, we've all been able to do that on suck kuno. What?
That's how PV works, right? Everybody rolls to strikers and
yeah,
longs
that's
to
what
get
I'm
the
saying.
most
I mean,
trash per hour.
yeah. So I guess if everyone just rolls to kuno, then yeah, that's how you make the most money per hour. I don't know. It's like I guess like two sides of the same coin. But the thing is at the end of the day, I think everyone kind of agrees that you shouldn't get nothing for PvPing, right? We're all kind of on the same page there.
True. Yeah.
You shouldn't get nothing.
I think there's only one person that disagrees with that statement.
Yeah.
One singular motion mob.
What were you gonna say, Choice?
I was gonna say that, like, proposing a fair progression path to start the game and begin PvPing and earn money to get endgame gear is what we are trying to do right now. We're talking about ways where people can start playing the game and immediately make good money compared to other activities that they could be doing at their relative gear level. And I don't know how that gets pushed back. Like, I know that you want it to be so much about skill, but at the end of the day, you are more skilled. You're going to be having more fun in PvP since you're a Suck Kuno god. So if you can make relative good money compared to other activities in BDO compared to your progression, why are you complaining about that? Why does it have to be about your skill? Your ranking, your badge next to your name, all the fucking clout that comes with that, that's where you show off your skill. But the actual economy of the game cannot properly work that way. It breaks apart when it is skill-based money.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is at the end of the day. I mean, everyone should get some rewards for doing it. You can have it, you could hypothetically implement a system where it scales as you progress your gear, so that way it's like time put in and it matches grinding or life skilling, and then separately also like some ladder rewards for being the top at the end of the month or whatever, whether that be in-game stuff or cosmetics and ranking and titles, etc. Like, there's a lot of ways to do it. At the end of the day, right now though, it's awful, and I don't know what the rewards are going to be. They mentioned there will be rewards when they first talked about it, like in December, when they first said that it was coming February 4th or at the end of January. But I don't know what those are. They haven't laid that out at all, so who knows? I think Rez, it's kind of getting late for you too, right? We should probably call it here soon.
11:15, sir.
Yeah, it was all late.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what's important to keep in mind, and maybe we should have said this off the top when this whole discussion began. This is all coming from a place of a baseline agreement, right? We're just trying to hash out the details. So I've already seen some people in Frosty's chat, and I'm sure there's going to be some people in the comments. Relax a little bit, all right? We're trying to fine tune things in a way that is agreeable for most people, and we're just previously 4, now 3 guys that enjoy playing a video game, right? Just having a discussion. That's all it is. So, I think at the end of the day, as with most things, I think compromise is the best way to do it. Uh, I I can understand where someone like Nihilus is coming from, but I also get where Choice is coming from. I think it's at this point in the game, I'm just ready for anything more than like 20 mil an hour.
Yeah. Should we do comments, Rez?
Fuck that.
Okay,
We'll do it
okay.
next time.
All right. Hey, Choice, thank you so much for joining. Also, thank you for the raid. For people on the show, I mean, you were on just last week, so people know who you are. But, you know, just if you could plug your YouTube and your Twitch anyway, you know, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hell yeah. I got a brand new artifact on YouTube. Look Artifact Guide Choice and you'll find it. Check it out.
All right. Artifact Guide on YouTube. Twitch.tv/choice. Rez, that was fun. Close this out, man.
Yeah, I wish Nyashi could have been here for it.
Yeah, he would have actually had a good time. Poor Nyashi.
Then again, it would be past midnight for him right now, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us, taking part in the discussion. Big shout out to Heedun and Choice. Check out their links, gonna be linked in the description. Check out Frosty's stream, twitch.tv/SoFrosty, Nyashi at twitch.tv/Nyashi_NNA, and myself at twitch.tv/NotReslar. Thanks again to all the Patreon subscribers, Twitch subscribers, all that good stuff. It's late, we gotta go. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.